You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Oh, yes. He's the first player to ever rack up 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving in the same season. A three-time Super Bowl champ, 49ers legend, Hall of Famer Roger Craig.
Fly ball center field. Rodriguez back at the track, at the wall. Rodriguez watches that thing fly. Dylan Dingler goes yard in the first inning, and it's 2-0 Tigers.
High, deep, does it have enough? You bet it does! Matteo has left the building. He had the better career OPS against. Acuna puts it high in the sky, deep to left center. They collided and knocked it over the wall. It's a homer. Circle the bases. Chase Spydrop. This one high in the air. Back it goes. Oh, it's onto the street. Chase Spydrop takes on the monster as the White Sox, their first lead over the Red Sox this season. There goes PCA. Throw down to third. Aaron gets away. Here it comes. PCA is in. And the Cubs win it.
Good morning. Welcome in. Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Mail Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. What's up, DB?
How we doing?
Oh, we're all right. How are you?
Man, I'm good. I tried to grab some ice upstairs, and I ran out of time, so we don't have any.
Uh-oh.
I mean, we could.
No jingle.
I don't know if you'll want to, but we could always take a break at some point in this first hour, and I could get some.
It's almost certainly not going to happen.
No, that's too much to ask.
Listen, we've taken breaks in the first hour 2 days in a row. We could try and make it 3.
Well, I think 2 days in a row, we took 2 breaks.
I don't know about that.
Is that pushing it?
I don't. That seems crazy.
You like my phone? It's cracked. I can't use my fingerprint anything.
This is a great opportunity for you to not have an Android anymore.
Yeah.
Just think of every challenge as an opportunity, DB. You know, you got like
I'm a free agent too.
Oh, with your contract?
So
you can do everything you want.
But I have to get it fixed first to turn it back in.
So like the insurance or
so
whatever.
I have an appointment to fix the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking ahead.
I'm
contemplating life.
I'm proud of you.
No, I'm probably not going to pull the trigger, but.
Well, I'm proud of you.
I get so sick of you Apple people like thinking you're like.
I meant I was proud of you for.
If I ruled the world.
Oh, I don't care.
For my baby.
I just like to make fun of you.
At least you're honest.
I was just proud of you for making an appointment to fix your phone. I know how much you don't like making appointments.
Yeah.
So that's what I was proud of, not the fact that you were considering
it's the T-Mobile Life app. It's very easy.
Yeah.
Very self-explanatory.
I've got that one.
Claiming it's in my assurance insurance.
Yeah.
It works pretty good on an Apple. It does. I'm serious.
Do you get the free MLB TV every year?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the best thing.
Yeah.
Baseball
is probably the most mobile of my sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, I take baseball with me a lot. I laughed at Acuna hitting that home run. Do you know who never apologizes for when they catch breaks?
Who?
Baseball players.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, as much as they get robbed.
So that's the thing.
And hit a ball on the screws or.
Yeah, you hit one like 110 right at somebody. You're like, yeah, I'll take my bloops.
Yeah, or collisions and
whatever.
Being helped over. How'd you like to be the Blue Jays in the Great American Giveaway yesterday?
I didn't see that one.
And I think going into that one, they might have been like a slight fave.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, my degenerate friends, they'll be jumping all over the Cubs as a dog at home, winning 2,000 games in a row.
Not 2,000, just a pretty good amount, though.
I mean, it's not 8 like the Red Sox. Shout out, Red Sox.
What's up?
I would not cheer for the Red Sox because of you.
You'd like actively not cheer for them?
No, because
Cubs have only won 4 in a row.
My buddy Pastor John is a Red Sox fan.
Oh, see, that's my guy.
No. Although, unfortunately, you two have some similarities. Very much some similarities.
That's my guy. That's Pastor John.
He sent me a picture the other day. He and his, I don't even know if they were married. Oh, yeah, 20 years. So they were married then. They were in 07.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's like leaning into the camera with the wifey, and I was
awesome.
like, God, he is a junkie.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked like he was 10, but
Well, 20 years is a long time.
unless you're a couple of these teachers out here lately, probably of age. It's weird what's going on.
What do you mean?
I was just reading some articles this morning, catching up on my news.
What do you mean?
I'm going to be honest.
Lot of people being sentenced.
I'm going to be honest. Out of all the people who could talk about not aging, I don't think you should chime in.
Oh, but I have gray. Somebody said that to me yesterday.
If you shaved your beard, though, you would look
horrible,
basically identical to your university photo.
Yeah, maybe. It's funny. Amari Sanders said that the other day.
Rico, are you working today? Can we find that?
No.
I just want to do like a
What are we looking
side-by-side.
for? What are we looking for?
DBs.
You even say good morning before you put this dude on the prowl. He should still be in timeout from yesterday.
Listen, it's 7:07. It's time to work, baby. Let's go.
Rico, I know nobody puts baby in the corner, but did you not feel like you have to go home and spank yourself?
I don't do that. I don't know what you do in the comfort of your own home.
You can ask people that.
I meant like get him punish him. Never mind. You guys, it's fine.
Come on, man!
Shane, was that you?
Come on, man.
Oh, that wasn't me.
Hey, how come Ken isn't orange today? Isn't Ken normally in green? Oh, there he is.
Oh, we just hadn't had his picture pop up yet. Yeah, no, Rico, if we could get a picture of DB's college photo so we could do a side-by-side. So
I don't even know why you're into this tomfoolery.
I'm not. I'm just want to show people how you haven't aged at all.
I
little
look,
bit.
I look very old.
That's not true.
God, this thing, I can barely read this piece of junk.
When's your appointment to go to T-Mobile?
9.
Oh, good.
That's why I wanted Austin to give me a reprieve because I can't really do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the real dilemma of why it's important.
Okay. I'm just saying, like, you look identical.
Yeah,
You look like the exact same person still.
it's fine.
Like, if you shaved, you would look just dead ringer still.
Yeah, I hate you guys.
It's fine.
Hi, Sash.
Thank you, Rico.
I need it doesn't recognize the fingerprint. So without the fingerprint, I can't get in.
Oh, to like any of your apps or anything?
Or like the most important one is First National.
Yeah, your banking.
Yeah. So I can't move anything.
Yeah. You don't have the Face ID on there?
I don't even know if that is a thing on my phone.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to assume no.
Yeah. So that's the thing that's weirding me out the most.
Yeah, not being able to get to your stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a problem. That's a problem.
I'm very limited.
Yeah. You could like log in on your computer or no?
No,
You
they're
don't-
not. They're not.
Oh, they're not like synced up. You don't know the password?
No.
I meant like physically logging on your computer like with a password. They have a website, like it's not just.
Yeah,
an
I
app.
don't even know what my password is.
That's what I was asking. Yeah, so that would be a problem.
I mean, it's like one of 5.
5 might be too many guesses though for a bank. They might be like, shut it down, brother.
3 and I'm shut down.
Yeah, shut it down, big guy.
So I'm like, yeah, somebody's going to have to help me.
It's a 60% chance you might get in.
Thank you, Ken. I appreciate your words of wisdom this morning. Not that I want to see you two argue, but that's always funny when you guys go over your phone.
Big red gun goes 8 minutes in. Jesus, DB.
Well,
T-Mac says, whoa, DB starting early today.
no, hey, you guys, you make mountains out of molehills. Like, Rico should still be in timeout. He had a very, very, very poor day.
I'm a grown man. I do what I want.
He's a child.
I mean, listen, nothing he said yesterday was nearly as vile as what you said.
That's not true.
Yeah, it is.
That's not true.
Do you want to see what I sent it to Avery? Because I like screen recorded it and sent it to Avery.
Yeah.
I just want you to read what she said here for a second.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
For the podcast listener, she goes,
Yeah.
"No, that's the best thing ever. I just spit out my water looking up the name DB told you." I said, "Yeah, that's why I said, yeah, you're definitely going to hell." And she goes, "Yeah, then I just did," and literally speechless.
It's all I could think of. I don't know. I probably should have kept that one to myself.
No, I'm glad you didn't, but
It would have been fine if he would have just acknowledged share.
but then you're like, hey, he didn't get my reference.
No.
Doubling down.
Are you sure you were reading that right? I mean, you were awfully close to that phone there. Maybe when you go to T-Mobile, stop by the eyeglasses place right beside there.
TK says he is going to super hell. That must be a Catholic thing. I'm not familiar with super hell. They didn't teach that in my school.
Okay, geez, Todd. I have seen that on movies before.
What Todd say? Super hell?
No, using your fingerprint is just encouraging someone to cut off your finger and get into your phone.
I don't know that that would be like a good like investment on their part.
I've seen people in a movie have their orbital removed.
Yeah. Minority Report.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure
Is that
others.
that's Cruise, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they predict the crimes in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a pretty good movie.
I didn't finish it. No, Ken. He's just jumping back and forth. Point for Ken, deduction. Point for Ken, deduction. No, Rico didn't have a really good day yesterday.
I thought he did all right.
Of course you did.
I will say he said a thing I wasn't even going to say, so that's a bad sign.
Yeah.
That's a pretty bad sign.
So you know what made that really bad?
But
Is like that's kind of him too.
yeah. No, not I mean,
Sometimes I wonder. I don't know.
I don't know like percentages here, but I would
What if he's like, hey, I can hear you, right?
I would say half.
That's probably not an accurate fraction.
I mean, I don't think it's accurate for anybody. I don't think the percentages is nearly as clean as we want them to be in terms of, family history.
He said, you can't self-gloat.
I had a great day.
Of course he didn't.
Uh,
I have a question.
I'm ready, yeah.
When are you ready to embrace the prowess known as the Red Sox?
I'm there.
Are you
I'm in.
tucking?
I'm in. I'm having a good time.
No pee tucking.
Nope.
You're like
I'm watching games. I'm enjoying myself.
Championship or bust.
I don't know about bust. I just am enjoying them playing good baseball. That's all. I don't really have an expectation because I've swung so far.
Oh boy.
No, listen. I'm not going to be here and be like, oh, they're going to fall apart, blah, whatever. Like that's tucking. I'm just sitting here and saying, like, I'm enjoying them playing good baseball.
So if I told you I think the Dodgers are in trouble, would you be like, yeah, and then you'd just be going in?
No, I do think they need to get healthy. Like, there's some.
They're old.
They're old, and they need to get some guys back. Otherwise,
You think they're going to come back? I went down the rabbit hole last night of people spelling their impending doom.
I don't know what the. I'm not going to pretend like I spent a lot of time looking at the, like Glass now, Snell, Otani timeframes.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're coming back or not. But if they don't, like they're a significantly different team than we think of them.
Like right now, they would
healthy.
be going on the road to what is it, Fulton County? No, is it Fulton County? Where are the Brewers? Is Fulton County Stadium, Atlanta?
Fulton used to. It's the old one in Atlanta. Yeah.
They would be going to Milwaukee.
Yeah,
I mean, Milwaukee has.
the Miller Park still.
I can't remember. Milwaukee has like 72 wins. Scott, it's not going. TK, knock it off, all right?
What TK say?
He said, no, definitely going back and worth listening to. No, it's not.
It's American Family Field now, but it used to be like Miller Park.
American Family Insurance.
100%. Yeah.
I'm just going to be honest. We're
16 minutes
I
in.
can't read. I'm not really feeling your vibe has snark written all over it.
I don't think that's
very, very condescending, a little short. I'm not picking up warm fuzzies. Do I need to put my armor on?
No, I'm good. I'm in a great mood. I get a little defensive sometimes when we talk about the tucking versus what my expectations are.
Yeah.
Because
so you laughed at me.
What do you mean?
And I said you could pick a different word than grace, but you have to negotiate the gap between expectations and
I'm not going to say World Series are bust. Do I think they're capable of winning the World Series? Yeah, I have no reason to believe otherwise. They've beaten everybody in the last 2 months. But
I'm not gonna shame you for having very little testosterone, but like, fuck up, buttercup.
Listen, I'm a very measured.
They're the favorites in the AL. Embrace it.
That's fine. I hope they make the World Series. It'll be terrific. I had a great time.
Get on my nerves.
I might go. If especially play Milwaukee, I'll probably go. I'll go to a World Series game.
You better be planning ahead because there might be about, I don't know, 20,000 other people thinking the same thing you are.
You can get tickets. You just have to be willing to pay for them.
Experiencing the blessings of double income, no kids.
Hell yeah, brother.
That's totally your mom's side.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
Golly, that had Rose written all over it.
Oh, let's take a break. All right. That's DB. I'm Ravi. Lulla. Sports Live.
Feeling tired? Foggy? Just off? At NextGen Male Medical Clinic, we offer hormone evaluations, peptides, supervised weight management for men and women. Most insurance accepted. Schedule a visit at nextgenmmc.com.
So after our last spring game, which was first week of May, I literally had a track meet maybe like 5 days after that. And we don't have a track here or a pit, so my first time jumping in the pit was at Nebraska, at Iowa, I think. But yeah, it was really fast. Maybe like my whole season was a month and a half.
How did you get back into the mode of long jump? Because how long had it been since you jumped before that meet?
Yeah, it was 2 years, a bit over 2 years, but I had a really good foundation growing up. My mom and my uncle are my track coaches, so I just think it's part of my blood, so yeah.
Did you surprise yourself?
Yes. I mean, I PR'd, which I was not expecting. I couldn't PR 2 years ago when I was at my peak, so having very little training and time and a pit, PRing was great. Even making it that far was just amazing, and I'm so blessed.
Do you hope to continue track and field then?
Yeah, I'm hoping. Dual sport for the rest of my career, hopefully.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. How we sounding?
We're fine. Austin, I'm going to need to address you for a second.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just take this with a grain of salt, right? I'm pretty calm and cool. I've been benched on national television, been through a divorce. Like, I'm not easily flustered, right? Catch a punt in front of 80,000. I'm going to need you to not knock on that glass like, god dang, an episode of Banshee or Prison Break. Okay? Like, you could have just simply tapped and said, hey, we need to go to break. But to beat on that thing, like this was deep blue sea and water was filling up in some sort of lab, was uncalled for. I was scared.
I did get a little jump scare.
I was startled. You made it seem as though the building was on fire. Can we not do that?
To be fair, I couldn't get you guys' attention. And did I get your attention?
You did. It was effective. It was effective in getting our attention. I will give that.
There's a movie reference, but it's so old. It's from the 90s. OG Bobby Johnson. He's like, Deuce is your daddy now. He went to prison, and he did not want his son to see him incarcerated.
Mm-hmm.
So the way he knocked on the window gave me Deuce, OG Bobby Johnson vibes. That's how my brain works. Yeah, Rico, I get it. A brother, prison, incarcerated. You're going to insinuate that I should know all about it. I understand.
Rico, do you have any commentary?
I wasn't going to say anything.
Of course you watched that movie. You're black.
I'm glad he told him. I'm glad he told you, in case you didn't know.
Yeah. I mean,
did you?
I ranked it on my deck yesterday. I ranked that in terms of things we ought not say. It's top 5.
Is it?
I mean, I know we've said, yeah, it's top 5. Go back and listen. It was his delivery.
It was. It was just so like, I mean, yeah.
Like, duh.
Like, of course. Of course you know, DB.
It's top 5.
I don't know. We've said some pretty bad things.
You have.
All right, Rocky Dennis.
If that's the worst, at least it was a fictional character. Although it was based on a true story.
You're going to go to hell for that. Have fun with Dante down there.
Ooh, good reference, Shane. Well done.
The old Inferno?
Yeah.
Shane, what do you know about Dante besides the fact it was a movie?
I'll know a lot once you call me from there with your broken phone.
He's a child. He's totally. You mad?
He's kind of funny today, though.
I'll be like, what's up? Just burning in hell.
Wow. This hurts my feelings, Shane. Very sensitive, as you guys know.
Shane just staying on it this morning.
No, I am gonna go ahead and need you to embrace that, though.
Embrace what? The Red Sox?
Yeah.
I have.
And are you on the TK text from this morning?
I think so, yeah.
So is TK still in the chat?
Yeah, he just
TK, them starting a three-star guard at right.
Oh, freshman. Yeah,
freshman at right guard.
Yeah.
Does not scare me about Georgia. Would you like some ice water? Yes, Todd. Yes, I would. TK's always the bearer of bad news.
Scott says DB will probably be wearing long sleeves in hell.
Yeah, probably. It's good chance.
Keep the sun off you, you know?
There's a good chance of that. Yeah, I don't. AJ Court. Yeah, I don't come. Halloween's not one of my. It's not one of my favorite holidays.
Is that like a?
I'm not a.
Can I ask a cultural question here? That's the nice way to say it, right? Cultural?
Sure. Go ahead.
Is Halloween popular amongst some of your peers?
No.
It's like a white people thing, right?
I don't know whose it is. Like, I don't. It might have something to do with white sheets.
Not a huge fan.
Yeah. Hasn't gone well.
Well, you don't see a lot of kids dressing up as ghosts these days.
There's a reason.
Well, it's a good reason. Not like that's not.
So I don't know if there's like a direct correlation.
Okay, fair.
But that would be my deal.
Okay. But not culturally a popular holiday.
No.
Okay. That's kind of what it seemed like, but I didn't want to make assumptions, trying to educate.
Rico, I love Rico, probably half of you loves Halloween.
That's the other half, Rico.
You guys aren't celebrating Halloween on the island?
No, they think, I don't know is Dia de los Muertos like a strictly Mexican thing, or is that more like a general Hispanic?
I don't know. He adopts everybody. If you ever use a tilde to spell, he it thinks that's part of his culture.
Mi hermano.
Yeah, like the royal we. The royal nuestros. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Rico, I was asking a question for clarification. I wasn't making assumptions. I very clearly asked because I didn't know. Please educate me.
And it's fair. It's a fair question too, Rico, because I've got a buddy who's Puerto Rican, and he's very much Puerto Rican, and he doesn't even he won't even go as far as to like any Mexican boxers.
Oh, wow.
And is very clear about drawing that distinction.
Yeah, that's why I was asking.
So you can't just be assuming that Ravi and he takes part of their culture anytime it's convenient. It's fine. Should ask Juan. He's our expert.
When have I taken part in Mexican culture? What are you doing?
We did go.
Are you Latin explaining me?
Wow.
We did go Taco Bell the other day, Rico.
You gave me a couple of weeks ago when I was like, that's not even you guys. And you're like, kinda.
That's true. I think it was like Colombian or something.
Yeah. I was like, you just adopting all.
Is that what we were talking
Brother,
about?
it was rice.
I thought we were talking about other white stuff.
We were.
Okay.
Rice was another one that
but
he
we
tried.
talked about Pablo, right?
He's an opportunist. When it's convenient, he hops on that train. When it's not, it's like, no, that's not me. I see what you're doing. I do. I see what you're doing, Rico.
Corey says Halloween is not a Christian holiday. Thank you for that.
Day of the Dead. Rico's like, no, that's not me.
I was just asking. I wasn't sure.
That's those other people.
Wasn't sure. I'm glad for the clarification. Thank you.
Why would you ask me that?
I was asking Rico.
No, the whole thing started with your stupid question to me.
You could ask Damon. He knows everything.
I don't remember what I was asking.
Rico, you mad? I gave you your cool nickname. Should be friends.
I don't remember why we were talking about Halloween. I don't remember. Oh,
I think
somebody asked in the chat if you were a big Halloween guy.
That was AJ's fault.
Yeah.
I blame that on AJ. I think.
Rico says it's fine.
Yes, Carol. I have seen Silo. I've seen season 1. My oldest sister was a huge fan of Silo.
Let's go, Flaky Jake. Braves and Red Sox World Series. Let's do it.
No. Oh, now he's happy again.
Let's do it. I'm in.
No, the Braves are the only team now the Cubs. The Braves were, for the longest, the only team in the National League that I was remotely.
Not scared of the Brewers?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, then quit bringing them up as they're having the best record in baseball.
I didn't want them to get another quality arm to go with Miz.
That would have been scary.
Yeah.
If they had gone and gotten Skubal, Miz and Skubal in the same rotation,
in a 5-game? Yeah, that's terrifying.
I mean, think even in a 7-game, right? Both those guys are going twice.
Yeah.
That's 4. That's you have to win those games, but that's 4 games right there.
No, I understand.
That's a wrap.
Milwaukee and Atlanta firmly ahead of Philadelphia, as are the Cubs. So I would go Dodgers, Cubs, Milwaukee.
Braves, Milwaukee.
If it were who I'd like to see the least.
Yeah. Who scares you the most?
The Braves.
Okay. So Braves,
Cubs. Then the Cubs.
Then the Brewers?
Then the Brewers, yes.
Okay. And then the Phillies?
Correct.
All right.
So the Phillies are 5th in the National League, which is crazy to say, as good as they're capable of being.
That's part of the reason when you say
they have too many left-handed hitters, though.
That's part of the reason when you say the Red Sox are the favorite in the AL. I don't push back because the NL is a much more difficult track to get through.
I don't know. You've got the Rays, you've got the Guardians.
I think you're much higher on the Guardians than most people are.
No, that's not true.
I think so.
Do you?
I could check the odds.
Yeah.
Is that an objective? Okay.
I only talk to God when I need a favor. What?
No, odds, not God.
Oh.
Odds.
I thought that's what we were on.
I don't think he likes gambling that much.
I would imagine not. Although, I mean, they played lots, and I mean, there's a fair amount of stories.
The Guardians are behind. So it's Yankees.
What are you using as your resource?
So I just picked it's DraftKings.
Okay.
Odds are by DraftKings. Yankees, Rays, Red Sox are at plus 260, plus 450, plus 500 respectively. Then there's a gap. Astros at plus 800, Mariners at plus 1,000, White Sox at plus 1,100, Rangers at plus 1,200, then the Guardians at plus 1,500. So I think you are higher than the consensus on the Guardians.
I would have. So the Rangers the Astros are interesting because I'm hoping they're peaking too early.
Yeah. I mean, you could say the same thing about the Red Sox, honestly, if you wanted to disparage.
Yeah, but they're going on about 2 months.
They are, so it kind of feels like who they are at this point, or who they're going to be. But they also have a couple guys that could come back.
I mean, the Astros are on a serious heater.
Yeah. I'll say, what are they at in their last 10?
Well, they had won double digits in a row.
Yeah, they're 7-3 in their last 10, so they're still on a pretty good streak there.
I mean, and their staff isn't even all the way healthy.
So I think, I would say, I think Yankees, Rays, Red Sox, kind of all in the same group makes sense to me. Like that, whoever comes out of that group, I think probably wins the AL.
Wait. Does he mean absolutely no one is saying the Red Sox are the favorites in the AL?
I mean, he's a Yankees fan.
I think that's kind of right, though.
I mean, you said they were the favorites in the AL.
I said yeah.
I think they're one of the favorites in the AL.
I think my Red Sox take is hotter than the Guardians take.
Oh, I don't know.
Give me those odds again in the AL.
They're plus 1,500, the Guardians are.
Just rank the AL for me.
Yankees, Rays, Red Sox, Astros, Mariners, White Sox, Rangers, Guardians.
What's the difference between the Yankees and Guardians?
A plus 260 to plus 1,500.
Jeez.
That's a pretty big gap. The gap between the Yankees and Red Sox is plus 260.
Yeah, so I would make them one of.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the Yankees are still the favorite.
The Rays and the Red Sox are plus 450, plus 500. So
are the Yankees going to have to play any defense and score runs?
Maybe at some point.
That's actually not horrible value, but they're the fave. But plus 260 is good money. I mean, $10 gets you 26. I take that every day that ends in Y.
It is, but I don't like those odds for like one team versus the field. Like there's too many other teams I think could win for that to be good odds for me.
But that's part of it.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I don't like plus 260 for what I think the Yankees are. I think they're obviously very good and could come out of the AL.
What would you consider the field? 1 of 6, 1 of 7, 1 of 8?
I would say the 3 teams in the AL East, Yankees, Rays, Red Sox. I do think the Astros potentially. I agree with you. I think the Guardians are good, so I would put them in that group. I'd probably put Seattle in there, but I don't know if I'd put anybody else. I don't know that I trust the White Sox or the Rangers. Fair? Foul?
That's fair. I'll take that. That actually.
So 1 out of 6.
Okay.
So that's a 16% chance.
Yeah. So.
Which I'm trying.
I like if that's how I want you to think of it.
Yeah. What
so
are the
when you say
odds?
Field, I get it, but I need the applied odds of who you think can actually win because it's not 16 other teams.
Right. It's 6.
It's 6.
5 or 6. Yeah.
Right, or however you arrived at the number.
So the implied odds of.
I was waiting for somebody to go in on Halloween. It is a very controversial topic, but Michael is absolutely correct.
What did he say here?
Does not have pagan origins. November 1st is All Saints Day on the Christian calendar, and Hallows Eve is simply the eve prior. That is the origin of the holiday, but I was not going to get into that.
That is correct. Plus 260 odds imply a.
So that's actually a mic drop. Like, no one could really argue.
Yeah, no, I mean that's just accurate. That's literally how the Halloween. Yeah. Anyway, implied odds of 28% of winning. So that's a little higher. Like that's not quite as good as I would want it to be. If I think it's a 16% chance of them advancing, then 28% applied odds I don't think is great value.
Hop over to the NL, Flaky Jake. I'm a man of many mood swings, DB. I'm still mad at Anthopoulos, but I still love my Braves. I'd be pissed if we weren't so hot, though. You talk about self-aware.
Fair enough, Flaky Jake.
And that's how he is on Twitter for years. Very, very mood swingy. He'll go to bed one night and it'll be jokes. The next minute in the morning, it is expletive filled.
I appreciate the self-awareness.
And much like yourself, is not afraid to drop a few bombs.
What I do.
Kobe's really the only one that does it very freely, but
in the chat, yeah.
Jake will do it on social media, like on X.
Yeah.
Yes.
I usually don't.
That's why I dubbed him Flaky.
I usually don't.
That's like 10. It's at least 10 years old.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's been calling that for as long as I've known you.
Yeah, he's crazy.
So the NL is this is where this is bad value. The Dodgers are minus money.
Yeah.
So
you can't take them.
They're minus 110. Even if you think they're good, you can't take them. You can't take minus money on a future. I don't think. Brewers are plus 500, which I think is Brewers and Braves are both plus 500. Both those I think are pretty good odds.
Yeah.
Then it's Cubs at plus 700, Phillies at plus 1,000, and then there's a huge gap.
Yeah, you asked me right there. I'd take the Cubs. I'd give you $10 to win 70 every day that ends in Y. They're arguably the best defensive team in baseball, and they rake. I mean, as long as that staff throws ground balls, they're going to pick it.
Do you think?
I mean, that's an elite defensive team.
Do you think the Brewers and Braves have at least a 1 in 6 chance of winning?
Yes.
So that's where your value starts, at plus 500.
That makes sense.
Because even though
it's certainly not the Dodgers.
Because I'll be honest.
That should be a T-shirt, and nobody would know.
What do you say?
Juan. Shane, you probably need to put that. That should actually be a T-shirt, and nobody would have any idea. It should be Kobe's expletives and Ravi's equal opportunity racism, and then on the back it should be Hurrdat Sports Live 2026. We'd have to probably kind of condense the words, but that's Kobe's expletives, Ravi's racism.
No,
Hurrdat Sports Live 2026.
The equal opportunity is very important in there. You can't. Those are not the words you can cut out, sir. Those are not the words you can cut out.
Oh, Kobe rolls out of the rack using potty language. Nobody can be that mad in the morning. Look, see,
by 10 of them. Effing 10 of them.
Oh, I know, Ken. I'm trying to figure it out.
Am I not giving the Phillies enough credit? Because I think it's really 4 teams.
No, the Phillies are good. I just don't know how you could try. They would be last on my list. Now watch them come back to burn me. Number one, two left-hand dominant in the lineup. And so when I look at staffs that kind of attack them, like Sale would deal the Phillies fits.
I also look at just what they've had to do defensively to get the lineup that they
want.
want.
They're going to kick it around.
That's what I mean. That's going to be brutal. Especially against teams that put the ball in play. That's going to be brutal.
I hope you're right, Radman. I do. Cubs will be the Cubs, and I hope you're right. And listen, you can set the lineup because we're going to talk to one of the most diehard Cubs fans, in Gary Sharp. But I hope I'm going to need them to. Never mind. No. Let's.
This is going to be our distress signal. When I can tell that Austin is stressed out, I'm just going to go.
Dude, my man was pounding on the window like there was no way out.
Like he was Lil Jon, from the window to the wall.
No.
No?
Dummy.
That's my jam.
That is probably one of those songs that, like, whenever it comes on, people are going to move.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if somebody piped that in at a funeral, people are.
We gather here to remember our dearly departed.
Just don't do it on Halloween.
And I'm the one going to see Hades, huh?
Well, we already knew I was. This is not new information, BB.
Me and old Lucifer.
See you down there, bud.
Dab it up.
Give us a call from there.
Fridays with Franklin. I kind of like that, Sadie.
That is good.
Hey, it's Franklin.
Is this the turtle, right?
Yes.
Okay. We've got Gary Sharp coming up at 8 o'clock. We've got Mike Sautter coming up at 9. We talked to our guy Tim Verghese yesterday because he went on vacation. So we're like, hey, we can talk to a friend at 8. A different friend.
You got a friend.
I was going to go Toy Story there. You've got a friend in me.
I don't know.
You're not a big Toy Story guy?
If I would. Wow, nice pull. He'll appreciate that. I think you should use that graphic when he's on.
I don't think you should. Don't.
And
don't
he knows
he
could. And he knows he can cuss.
He will get pissed. Don't fall into the Damon trap, because you will go to hell for that.
No, it's a Damon trap. Yeah. Oh, Sharpie will love the old Franklin reference. He's gonna be like, F off. Sharpie would have been cussing a long time ago had the FCC let it ride.
The FCC won't let me be. What was the cartoon? I watched a lot when I was a kid. It was like a cartoon elephant.
Babar?
Babar. I love Babar.
How do you not know?
Are you going to make an elephant joke there? Wow. DB being racist again. I'm stunned.
You don't like elephants?
What?
So in case anyone was curious, they could still hear you, but that's okay.
We got to cover the mic when we take the headsets off. For the podcast listeners, he said, isn't that a you guys thing? And I said, you have elephants too. Famously, the most famous breeds of elephants are African and Indian.
Wow.
And he goes, well, we don't ride them. And I was like, I'm not riding them. You still have them. Yeah, I had a little Babar toy. Also, that's not what our elephants look like. They don't wear suits like that. That one's British for sure.
You actually had a toy of that?
I did. I had a little Babar toy. That's
why would the Indian guy reference the British? You haven't even got your jewels back.
I know, right? That was a colonizer, though, for sure. I could tell. Wasn't he wearing a crown too? That's part of the monarchy. Yeah, see, he British as hell. They co-opted our elephants. What's up?
I do not want your dad mad at me.
Oh, he doesn't care.
Don't you guys use those in weddings?
Oh, yeah. I mean, like the really big ones, yeah.
Okay. Like, I knew I wasn't.
No, elephants are an important part of Indian culture.
Okay.
You weren't wrong. I just like to make you squirm a little bit. Usually they do horses now because they're easier to get around. You have to. That's why there's only a couple hotels in Omaha that like you can have like the full-fledged Indian weddings at, because they're like, no, you can't start a fire and bring a horse in our hotel. And they're like, well, then we're out. See, look at that. Those are whites riding an elephant right there.
Well, I don't know. We need to probably zoom in. He may be of some descent.
Well, she's a white. I know that. Look at that. She's definitely white. Are you kidding me? I can see the sunburn from here.
This is horrible. My question was legit.
Well, which one? Aren't elephants you guys?
It's not how I meant to say it. And I cut myself off. But Babar the colonizer might be the funniest thing I've heard in a while.
Just saying.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Yeah, those are us. Represent, baby.
Whew.
Yeah, that's like, see, that doesn't look like Babar. You know what I mean? Like, our elephants wouldn't dress like that.
We almost made it.
Nah, we didn't. We were never going to make it. You know that. You know that. That was not on the table.
It was so good and sportsy.
We were talking baseball. I don't even know what happened.
Austin goes. How clear is that when I pulled the headsets off? Austin, is it pretty clear?
It's pretty clear.
Is your name Austin? Rocky?
I'm just helping out.
When
Dante.
When you said Rocky Dennis yesterday, I was like, that sounds like a reliever from the A's from the 70s. I was not in any way prepared. That's Lord of the Rings. That's not real. Also, they say it funny. They're like, those are the elephants or whatever. It's not.
What did your
Pardon?
Elephants.
What did your phone sound like when it broke?
Wow. This dude's mad again now.
No, I legit when you said that name, I was expecting like, oh, he kind of looks like this random reliever from the 70s that only DB remembers, like a Manny Del Carmen for me.
Oh, good pull. I
loved Manny Del Carmen.
Wow, nice pull.
That was my guy.
And what do you mean Lord of the Rings isn't real?
It's a different discussion for a different day, Shane.
Shane, you're not. I rock with the Lord of the Rings, but you don't think that was real, right?
It's not like historical. You know that, right?
Oh, I thought it was historical.
Okay.
Well, they didn't put enough. They didn't put enough information in the extended version, or what?
I do.
Shane seats a lot of his people in Lord of the Rings.
I was just gonna say he identifies with a certain demographic in those films.
Oh.
Well, like elephant riders?
Wow.
That's my guy, Manny Del Carmen, baby. I actually have his autograph. What? I love Manny Del Carmen. I don't know why. He's just one of those guys.
You know that was just the camera angle in the movie. They weren't really little people.
Oh, no. Elijah. What's his name? Elijah. It's somewhere in there. What's his name?
Wood.
A lot. Thank you. He's not big. How tall is Elijah Wood? Do you think Elijah Wood is taller or shorter than Shane?
Rico, you're a child.
Because I said someone's name?
Do you think Elijah Wood is taller or shorter than Shane?
Pardon?
Do you think Elijah Wood is taller or shorter than Shane?
Shane's 5'1". Oh, no.
So this is what I expected to like pop up. Something like this when I Googled Rocky Dennis, not what you sent me. I was expecting like an actor or a random baseball reliever.
Did you AI that?
That's an actual picture of Elijah Wood. Good Lord.
The way you asked me, Wood should be the easy answer. There's no way Wood is shorter than Shane.
You're correct, but he's only 5'4.5". They didn't have to use a lot of camera tricks, is my point.
Wow.
He's Lil.
This is
just keeping it accurate.
Like
this is
keeping it what?
Historical.
Accurate.
Accurate? Like a hamburger?
Like a car.
I don't know why we do this to each other. I think we should all just, sweet baby Jesus. Can we all get along? I do not want the whooping for that money, though. Do you see what you really see?
Sean Astin.
It's not what happened.
What happened was Sean Astin also only 5'5". I don't think the camera tricks had to do much. That's all I'm saying.
Wow.
Accurate.
Like the car?
No, it's an Acura.
Oh.
It's like the difference between like an elephant and an elephant. There's an extra couple of consonants on the end there.
Freaking corn raider.
Yeah.
Oh,
hell yeah. Who said that? Fatball Jesus? Thank you, sir. He says, that's his handle. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?
You just said it weird.
Well, it's because I was trying to read it because there was like a thing over it. I don't know. Per Wikipedia, Babar is an African elephant. There we go. It begins in the African jungle before he flees to a civilized city, later returns to rule. Oh, wow, he is a colonizer. Damn.
That's pretty deep, too. An elephant first started white flight? I didn't mean that. Jeez.
He's a colonizer as hell. He really did. He came back to rule the other elephants in the jungle?
I'm going to timeout.
Babar problematic as hell. Damn. They have a word for that. I'm not allowed to say it. You all right, DB? You good? He's just doubled over by the door just for our podcast listeners, and he's coughing a lot. I'm just saying Babar super problematic. Never mind. Out on Babar. My bad.
I have got to be better. I just get comfortable.
That's what people like about the show, I think.
No, sometimes I don't. My poor mom.
She listens every day.
I saw her yesterday. I went over there with Micah, and she didn't feel good. I was just like, she's talking about the show, and I was like, I'm so sorry.
Just apologized. I think my mom just pretends like the show doesn't exist when I see her. I think we never talk about it. She's just like, yeah, whatever's going on. How's work? Oh, it's good, Mom. All right, thank you. She never brings the show up.
Babar's from Africa.
I could see your mom.
That just the irony makes that funny. Yes,
I could see your mom saying, Damon, you're going to go to hell.
No.
She would never say that. She would just be like,
he's just trying to weave that in over the Rocky Dennis thing.
She would just be like, Damon, gotta be nicer to Shane. What'd Shane do to you, Damon?
God, that 15 minutes of sports was awesome.
We did so good for a minute there. And then Tim says,
is that true, Tim?
Cailou is a French Canadian. Can we all agree that he sucks?
He is a whiner.
Oh, Caillou. It's Caillou, right?
Caillou. Yeah, he is a crybaby. And he wears the same clothes every day. It's like,
I mean, a lot of cartoons do. I don't, think that's.
And he's a bad kid. Like, he's a whiner. Like, Caleb went through a Caillou phase. I was like, listen, we're not doing this.
Like, hey, knock it off.
The Kobe is so awful.
Mustache Adam says, are you guys eligible for a Marconi? If so, submit the elephant segment.
I thought my question. Would you stop?
Who is that?
I don't remember Caillou looking that way.
Absolutely
Little Bill looks
incredible.
What's up?
Little Bill looks different.
Now, look, that's a great pull, first of all. Austin, you're an idiot. Rico, that was actually funny. Did you watch Little Bill?
Yeah, I watched the hell out of Little Bill.
Little Bill was awesome, but super.
It's a problem now.
Look, somebody's going to shut us down.
I'm glad Bill's busy this week.
Okay. Hey, Neutron, we're good.
I think this is Rico. You just threw a
It is not me.
This one wasn't my fault.
I love how the black one needs a white background so you can see him.
I think we should take a break. Good instincts on the music, Shane. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Rico, you're going to go.
Rico, did I miss something about your cultural... Like, you're a minority.
There's a lot of colorism on the island.
We got Gary Sharp coming up next.
Dude,
That's DB. I'm Ravi. Lulla. That's Franklin, apparently. We might be back. Hard to say.
Wow.
More Hurrdat Sports Live after this.
When I was there, and I'm sure now too, there's just so many girls that are committed to like large schools, and so that makes high school so competitive and just really creates a good environment to then be ready for that college volleyball as well. Obviously it's a step up, but I was a lot more prepared going to Purdue after my high school season and all that entailed, just because there are so many talented people that have come out of Nebraska, and it's a volleyball state for a reason. There's the fans at Nebraska are unreal, not just for Nebraska volleyball, but especially for all the high schools and for their local players. And obviously all those fans for the high schools are then the fans for the Nebraska team. So that's what makes it so special. But also in Indiana, it's the exact same way. I've lived there for 4 years now, and it's literally the same feel as Nebraska.
Everyone's talking about peptides. You are doing it right. At Next Gen Male Medical Clinic, peptide treatments are clinician guided, tailored to your goals, monitored for safety. Call today or visit nextgenmmc.com.
Feeling tired? Foggy? Just off? At NextGen Male Medical Clinic, we offer hormone evaluations, peptides, supervised weight management for men and women. Most insurance accepted. Schedule a visit at nextgenmmc.com.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. DB, you get some ice?
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm good. Austin, you didn't tell me it came out so slow. It's like a crumbled piece at a time.
Let me see. What
I didn't even get it full.
What do we got here?
It's all in pieces.
Yeah, well, some people like a more crushed ice.
No, I do too, but it takes forever.
It does take a minute. Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you how long it took me to swipe my thing to open the door, Austin. I may have given that handle about 3 pulls before I realized there was a red dot.
It's fine. It's totally fine. I think we have our guest now.
It's a different red dot. Franklin!
One Sharp is here
what?
From the Omaha Herald.
What are you wowing? What'd I do?
I like Indian people.
Thanks, Gary. Appreciate it. You whites aren't half bad either.
I was talking about the security dot on the door.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, I was.
Don't let him gaslight you, Gary.
Hey, I'm Team Ravi on this conversation. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, by the way, I'd like to thank whoever canceled on you guys that you reached out to me to have me on your show this morning. So thank you to that person that bailed on you at 8:00 on Friday morning.
Listen, we had to move Tim Thursday, and we're like, who? This is exactly what the conversation was. Who's one of the best combo sports guys we could get?
Yes.
So Ravi were booing it back and forth, and I was like, what are you guys talking about? And he goes, let's try to get Gary for Friday. And I go, because per usual, Franklin, as you know, I have nothing to do with what happens on this show. I just wait and see, what pops out.
Yeah. I never see anything viral from you. It's all from Ravi.
He's crazy.
But I am the versatility because because I know you guys have spent 35 minutes talking about Haynes King and how he's going to turn the NFL upside down. I do like the versatility where I can come on here and go, it's the sport of kings, better than diamond rings. It's football.
I'm just glad you leaned back so I could read with that sweatshirt.
Yeah, because
I was reading the tops of the letters, and I was like, what is he wearing?
Like, man, real loose dress code at the World Herald.
Okay. It does not say, it has a couple extra letters in it. Yeah.
Oh, man.
The top half of those letters are real ambiguous.
Are you?
That's what she said.
See?
It's a bar in Wahoo.
Thought we were going to get some levity.
I thought it was a different kind of bar.
No, the bar in Wahoo is called Titles. And it has nothing to do with particular letters of their name. It's a great bar, by the way. Huge Husker bar in Wahoo. Shout out to Titles. Yeah.
I thought it was a sweatshirt from a different bar, like maybe off the Waverly exit.
Oh.
No, but have you guys seen really I'm not a super religious guy. I'm a C&E Catholic, Christmas and Easter. I'm there, Father Toner. Boom. You and I, we're tight.
I know where this is going.
But have you seen the billboard that drives around town about what God likes?
It's a establishment that I think it's actually very biblically accurate. It says Jesus hearts strippers, which I think is accurate. Jesus loves everyone.
I don't listen.
True.
I'm going to need you two to knock it off.
Listen, we're just talking about local businesses, support local,
Franklin, you already know, I'm like flush. I got this thing cranked down. You know I like it cold, and I am so hot right now. It's like I'm afraid of what's going to be said, and that's uncharted waters for me. I'm very nervous right now.
I'm having trouble telling if you're flushed or not. You look like you've gotten a lot of sun this summer.
Is that funny? You're an idiot too.
What did I do? What did I do?
Stop encouraging him.
I put my head down. I'm just trying to concentrate.
Well played, Chart. Hope your Cubs choke again.
Whoa. Speaking of that, I know one team in the majors that hasn't lost 6 in a row.
I also know two teams in the majors that are responsible for that 6 in a row.
Yes, by the way, one hell of a win last night, Ravi.
Good. I left for dead until the 9th. It's 2-0. Yeah. That game's all but over. And Toronto's like, nah, here you go.
Yeah. I think the Cubs and the Red Sox will play in the World Series. This will be fun.
Oh, Major League Baseball would love that.
Would you guys like the rest of this segment?
Listen,
no.
You want a multi-sport athlete over here, Gary Sharp, talking about stuff. We're talking about baseball. Come on, man.
This was a Tuesday thing. This wasn't my idea. I didn't know. You guys told me what we were doing.
At the end of the day, let's just blame Tim, all right? And can we get Tim a job? Let's have somebody hire Tim, all right?
Like Tim to do.
I think Tim needs to be heavily involved in evaluating potential prospects.
Maybe put him in the recruiting office?
Whoa, you said that. I didn't. I'm Stockton to Malone here, I guess.
He does watch. He's one of the few people that I've ever been around that when we go to like football camps or clinics or stuff like that, and I see him at these different schools, he's at every stop for about 15 minutes at a time, where he's writing, he's watching, he's writing, he's watching. And he's one of those rare guys that I think for his age, as young as he is, he's seen so much, so he has very good baseline benchmarks.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to describe him. I always like my interaction with him. I got a chance briefly to talk to him on Tuesday. I think he just has a very good eye for projection. Like we all kind of have an eye for talent. We can say, yeah, that guy's good. He stands out. He's the guy I remember the most when the game is over. But the one thing I appreciate about Tim, and I know when he comes on your show and he breaks things down, and you guys are both great because you bring that out of him. I think he has a good eye for talent, but also projection, which I think in recruiting these days is a big thing. We can all go and get players and we like, hey, that guy's the best player on the field. Let's go get him. But you have to be able to project in what they're going to be like in your program, whether they're going to change positions, whether in 2 years when their body starts to grow, what they're going to look like. And do you move them from guard to center or tight end to center? You know, those kind of things. And I think that's what I really appreciate about Tim's skill set.
Let me say one more thing about baseball. Where would you slot, just real quick, because I know the two teams that bug me the most as a Dodgers fan, and they're clearly the Braves and the Cubs. No disrespect to the Brewers. They get 72 wins. I like the Phillies. I don't trust the Phillies. How would you slot the top 5 in the NL?
Dodgers are number 1. I mean, the Dodgers went through a little bit of a rut last year. It's a long season. They're going to be fine. And they're also getting some reinforcements. Blake Snell is on his way back. Glasnow is going to come back. So the Dodgers are going to be the Dodgers. I think the Braves are a challenge at number 2 because they've got to stay healthy. You know, the Brewers might have learned some lessons along the way, especially last year of getting that close but not getting over the hump. And then, you know, the Cubs, I still worry about the Cubs starting pitching, but they have plenty of pitching when they went out and got a Gosman and a Holmes as well. And they've got MVP Pete. It's just, can they get over the hump? And then that 5th team that I would bring out of the National League, I don't think you can discount the Phillies, but also keep an eye on the Padres. The Padres might make a late run, but really it's the Dodgers. And, you know, if somebody can catch the Dodgers when they're hot and the Dodgers have a downtime, you know, they almost got beat in the World Series last year, you know, so it's going to take one of those efforts. But I don't think it's a slam dunk that the Dodgers are going to win the World Series, but they're set up best to be good in October.
Waiting for the Padres to finally light switch this thing, because I say this about them every year.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, I thought they would be, you know, they went and did this big buying spree last year, and I thought, okay, maybe they're going to take a step back. And they went out and spent money and they held on to Mason Miller. I mean, they're always dangerous if you look at their lineup, but they've got to get it going. You know, they're not worried about chasing the Dodgers to win that division now. They're worried about chasing a wild card spot, and maybe that does them better.
process through the way Milwaukee handled the trade deadline, and I guess maybe how they didn't handle the trade deadline is maybe a better question. I know they're super focused on sustainably having a good baseball team every year, but at some point, isn't it kind of like, hey, we have to cash the chips in and try and win this thing?
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair question. They held on to their number one prospect who, the Tigers wanted. I give them credit for that because they built their farm system and they do want to just keep turning it over and over and over that they're going to be successful. And hey, they've got the benefit of the doubt, especially in my division, that the Brewers are the Brewers and they're going to do Brewers things. But there is a point where your fans are like, all right, we're all in and go for it. They did it with CC Sabathia when they acquired him. Maybe they just got a little gun shy at the last moment that Skubal would not fit with what they have going with the Brewers. And I'm not just saying in the rotation, because he definitely would fit, but maybe some of the other things. And also, they also maybe looked at, we want a guy that we have control over, and it's not just a rental. That's not who we are. But if I'm a fan and I get to the NLCS again and I get beat by Skubal, I'm going to have some speaks with my front office.
When PCA was kind of the throw-in addition to that trade.
Oh. Well, that's a good front office because they'd identified him. And, the Mets also kind of were fed up with him. And he's not, he's got some antics. He's great to have on your team. I imagine if you're rooting against the Cubs and you see some of his antics, you're like, that guy is a knob, but he's my knob and he's going to be the MVP as of right now. That's just a good front office of like, okay, if we're going to do a deal here, we're going to go 1 for 1. But if you're going to go 2 for 1, that's the guy I want. And I identified him. And, he's starting to hit his strides. I don't think he's anywhere near what he can be consistently in the majors. But that's just a good pickup that somebody that now has solidified a position that has been a revolving door for the Cubs for about 10 years in center field. And also, I think they have a star. And you hope that in a big market like Chicago, where fingers crossed the Ricketts are going to spend some money, that people are attracted to come play with Pete Crow Armstrong down the road.
For me, I think I like the Guardians better than the 6th or 7th place odds they're getting in the AL. I would probably start with the Red Sox, but the Yankees are the fave and by a decent amount.
Yeah, and that's not a surprise just because it's the Yankees and, you're thinking they're going to get Judge back and that offense will find its way again. And you look at who they got on the mound, especially when you get to October. They got a couple of good starters that are good October guys. But, man, there's just something about Boston. I mean, Boston is on a roll and they're finding a way to win. And also they're pretty good. I mean, it's not like they're like, oh, my God, lightning in a bottle. They've got some good players. It's just Alex Cora couldn't get it out of him. And I think Alex Cora is still a really, really good manager. Chad Tracy came in, and all of a sudden they turned it around. And when you win a game like they did last night against the White Sox, you're like, man, this might be our year.
Gary, let's switch over to football here. I got to get your temperature here on preseason football. I know you made a Haynes King joke to start, but there was a little bit of there. It was very cool just to actually get to watch a little football last night.
And he actually is good.
I think we all liked Haynes King a ton at Georgia Tech. I gotta say though, Carson Beck looked like the guy we always kind of thought Carson Beck was supposed to be, right?
Yeah. He looked comfortable last night playing in that offense. I think he's in a good situation. He's going to play behind Brissett. Can Brissett stay healthy? I don't know that the Cardinals will be that good this year, but they have a lot of intriguing pieces for next year. And then you don't know what their draft position will be if they decide to go quarterback. But he did look really comfortable. He didn't look like he was very skittish. And maybe that's a good sign for, the head coach at Georgia Tech and the head coach at Miami, that those guys were prepared pretty well to walk into the NFL and not be like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? But listen, 7 million people last year watched the Hall of Fame game. 49 preseason games, and people will watch. We know we will watch. And you know what? You're watching, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that Quentin Newsom was still in the NFL. And he's out there making a play in this game. So it's football we watch. I still would love college football to have a semblance of an exhibition game or joint practices. But until then, we'll enjoy our preseason football, and it'll be here before you know it.
Ask you about, I am not very high on them, but I get anytime you get Mahomes back. I love what they did in the secondary because Delancey, he was my favorite. I know he's a little hurt right now. He was my number one corner. I know what you guys do with folks in the secondary. I think DeMarcado is going to be a star. He's flying under the radar in that backfield, especially with Emmett's great start and kind of what's already there. But are you in on the Chiefs? Ooh, we're back.
Until I see Mahomes, they're back, but they've got to be better in a certain different areas. They got to be able to rush the passer better. They got to get Chris Jones some help, and they tried to do that in the draft. You know, I don't think Spagnuolo at times had a great year last year. You know, they got to be better on the second level. Karlaftis has to have a better year. But most importantly, their tackles have to be better. They have a revolving door at tackle. You know, they got the best center in the game. So up front is where I will determine if they're going to be good, because they also have to be able to run the ball. You can't have the most explosive run play last year being Patrick Mahomes, which it was. And they went out and they addressed that in the offseason. They get a guy that can not only run the ball, but he can also catch the ball. And then you know what they did with Emmett, and they've actually helped their skill guys, but they just have some guys that need to get back to playing like they're capable of playing. And I think if they're able to do that, they're going to be able to find a way to win 10, 11 games. But since we last saw the great version of the Chiefs, that division has gotten so much better. So you have to be better if you want to continue to do what you've done in the past. And they get Bieniemy back. And I think having Bieniemy back, I don't think Matt Nagy and Mahomes and Reed were always on the same page. And I think Bieniemy and Reed speak the same language. And I think Mahomes and Bieniemy see the game through the same lens. And that'll help immensely.
What do you think happened with Nagy? I mean, we saw the head coaching experience and then back, and they pan and you look at what's going on through the headsets and the facial expressions. Like, what do you think happened to him?
I think he stopped being a quick thinker. You know, Andy Reid calls the plays, but Bieniemy has input. I just think Matt Nagy the game sped up, and I think he was searching. It was like, all right, spin the play sheet. There we go. That looks like a good play. He didn't get into a rhythm where there was a lot of rhyme and reason in the play calling. And you know, I think the one thing I've always appreciated about Bieniemy, and again, Andy Reid is the top of the play call, is you got to think outside of the box, because you have an outside of the box type quarterback. And so you can't put Mahomes in a box. You have to let him play outside of the parameters of an offense. And I think at times Nagy didn't do that, and maybe got a little bit of gun shy. Also, I don't think he got help from his wide receivers. You know, there were a lot of times probably in the last year and a half where the wide receivers didn't necessarily help out Mahomes. And also, here's another thing, and I'm not afraid to say this, Mahomes at times has got to be better. He wasn't very good last year compared to what he has been in the past.
In your, as a Chiefs fan and as a football guy, where would you rank your level of concern for the Chiefs on these three items, right? Okay. Front office starting to miss on some important draft picks over the last couple years. Patrick Mahomes' health, or the wide receiver room?
Mahomes' health. Now, you know, at least they have Justin Fields, so you have an NFL starting quarterback that has started in the NFL behind him. I think wide receivers, like all of those, Ravi, I think they're all important, because that's what's built the Chiefs. Is they've had great drafts, they've had great development, they've gotten a superstar at quarterback, and they've been able to build off of that. But also, guys have played to their ability. And I think at the wide receiver, you know, they don't have a plethora of big-time wide receivers. They have an interesting collection outside of Rice and Worthy and the big tight end. Guys just need to play like they're supposed to play. You know, they can't have guys, when you throw a deep ball and they run under it, drop it at the 5-yard line. So I think last year was a really good year for the Chiefs in this standpoint. It forced them to recalibrate and not get fat and happy, and evolve a little bit and make some trades in the offseason where you went, whoa, but then go to the draft like Damon alluded to and try and build through the draft again. I think the Chiefs have gotten back to what has made them the Chiefs of the current day. And hopefully that will start like this next phase where as Mahomes gets a little bit older and Andy Reid gets closer to retirement and 87 plays his last season, that they're set to do phase 2 of the 2.0 of the Chiefs. Because if not, the NFL is not forgiving. And again, especially in that division, because of what the Chiefs did, it forced other teams in that division to hire a Sean Payton, draft a Bo Nix, do what the Raiders are trying to figure out, or what the Chargers are doing.
Into Nebraska college football. Georgia is my pick to win the national title. I think they play Oklahoma in the SEC championship game. Houston is my dark horse in the Big 12. I do not like Texas Tech as much as everybody else. I think Bama's in trouble. Michigan is as much as Michigan can be, my dark horse in the Big 10. And I do not like Oregon's offensive line. And my hot take is Ohio State doesn't make the CFP.
Ooh.
Pick one or two or three.
Let's start with Ohio State. Because of Arthur Smith, because of the schedule, because at 9-3, Ohio State won't get the lifting into the field of 12. Why don't you think Ohio State will make the CFP? Too much to replace on defense?
Yeah, I'm worried. I'm a lot to replace. Like, that offense is going to be probably elite, right? Really good offensive line. You've got great skill. Santa maybe he's going to have to make some more plays. Bo Jackson is coming. Like, I understand that. But Downs and those guys, that front four, they were so good a year ago, but they would have these lulls. So I look at them offensively, and I'm like, oh, their guy's just better than you. But is that schematics? I just look at the schedule and what they're replacing from a leadership standpoint, and I don't know. I could see 9-3 being on the table.
Yeah, I think 9-3 looks like what an Ohio State record would look like. I mean, that's a challenging schedule, but listen, everybody plays a challenging schedule. It's college football. You're in the Big Ten. Half your conference schedule is going to be against ranked teams. So on the scheduling talk, but they have to navigate. You know, there's a little bit of me that wonders, can Patricia catch year number 2? Because he was so good last year with so many good pieces. And listen, they have all kinds of talent walking around, but it's not as experienced as it's been or as proven in big time games. I still think Ohio State finds a way into the playoff, but they might be a 10-2 team. At 9-3, depending on what those 3 losses are, we'll see. That's an interesting one because they've got the dynamic of a new OC that came from the NFL and year 2 of a DC that came from the NFL as well. But they still have the best player in college football catching passes.
Not a hot take, but we'll get into Jeremiah Smith when I have you for another 50 hours.
Hey, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Okay. This is not because I'm on this show and we'll be out at the Pinnacle Bank Championship today dressed as Herbie Husker. But I was thinking about this after being there on Tuesday. How does this football team not win at least 7 games? There's experience. There is a defensive coordinator that speaks the same language as the head coach. They're more closer, and this is my observation, they're more closer to a college model on defense than they were an NFL model last year, where, we got to get better players, where it's, let's make the players better. That's what we do in college. In the NFL, you can say, well, it's on the players. I mean, we're paying them. That there's a lot of things that line up. And then also the experience factor, which I think is really, really big. That how do they not win 7 games? And I'm not just saying this to gaslight. This is an honest question. How does this football team not win at least 7 games? And I don't want to hear about the schedule because the schedule is tough for everybody. And if you want to get where you want to go, you got to win some games on a tough schedule. So I throw that out there. Now, again, not gaslighting, not sucking up to the hosts. It's just an honest question after listening to from Calandria all the way to, I have a love of Owen Chambliss. How does this football team not win 7 games. At least 7 games.
I like being right more than I like being well liked. So I agree with you. And I've never been one of those guys they'll win 10, they'll win 9. I always felt like these first 3 years I was never more comfortable than saying 8. And I think relatively I should have been in the ballpark. But I agree with you on 2 observations that I think are pretty astute. Number one, the collab in the building is significantly more efficient, right? We'll see if it yields better results, but it is much more efficient, and I think it's a better fit, right? I love what you said about we need better players, we have to get more guys, right? Because that always stuck in Coach Rule's craw about he doesn't want to hear about needing. Like, you can't say that in season during guys. There is no help. There's no help coming, right? So control your meeting room and instill confidence in the guys. I think that's the number one change in the offseason. Number 2, I love the experience talk too, because when I watch guys now walk off the field, and I'm a big body language guy. I like what happens when the whistles and balls aren't flying. They spend a lot of time together, and they do it by groups. When I can see a pack of running backs hang out with a pack of running backs, I'm pretty encouraged. When I see tight ends answer the dinner bell, like, you heard Coach Holgerson yesterday, I was pretty disappointed in the tight ends, right, this offseason. And it's not their work ethic. It's command and presence within that offense, right? Don't make me have to play 10 personnel. Like, if we're going to be multifaceted, own it. Tight ends collectively do that. I like that Evans' best friend is Sam Sledge. I like Pritchett having his arm around Gatula. Those little things matter to me. I look at that secondary, right? If Victor Evans and Odom and Charles and, Amari Sanders can all yuck it up after a practice and they know that somebody's trying to play opposite Andrew Marshall, like, you have to have that if you want to win games in the fourth quarter. Yesterday, Cam Linhart and Jones were just walking and talking. It was just the 2 of them, right? And it's not the corny song, just the 2 of us. It was, I like seeing that. Exactly. Go ahead. Get your groove on, G-Funk. That's where you go from Franklin to G-Funk. I've seen that guy too. It's guys controlling the meeting rooms. That's where I think is a huge advantage, because they have some fellas back. 83% retention rate.
Yeah, we've talked about this, all 3 of us, for the longest time. Talked about things that are at Nebraska's disposal. That, hey man, they have this dude here, and they don't do a great job of seizing the opportunity. And I look at it this year I think the program is better Monday through Friday. The question is, are they better on Saturday? And it's not just, hey, we got deeper team, we got an older team, we got better talent across the board. It's also the decision making that has to go on Saturday. You got some good coaches with, I love their development background in college football. They're coaching on that side of the ball, but there's some of them are really new. What's it like when they get squeezed on Saturday and they've got to talk to each other and, the bullets are flying and everything. I think they're better Monday through Friday. Definitely. Now it becomes Saturday. And that's why I say, how are they not going to win at least 7? Because if they don't win 7, and maybe it's if they've had a plethora of injuries and it's just too much to overcome, I start to wonder, when do you take the next step forward? Because you don't want to get stuck. You've made progress, but you can't get stuck, because this conference, like I said about the AFC West, is not forgiving. Everybody's trying to get better. 18 teams are trying to get better every single day. And if you're not getting better every single day, you're going to get passed by. And that's something that this program can't afford when you're into year 4.
We've talked a decent amount about sort of the cohesiveness of the coaching staff and things like that. But Justin Evans said something at Media Days that I thought was really interesting regarding the quarterback room, and that's that Anthony Calandria was a breath of fresh air. And so I don't want to necessarily do a compare and contrast here with Dylan. I'm just asking, let's say Dylan was a great teammate and did like maximized what he could do at the University of Nebraska. But he also like was a very big presence on that football team, right? Like you could understand how maybe he sucked the air out of the room a little bit for the entire team. How much do you think stuff like that matters within the context of what you're talking about in terms of you don't see how they don't win 7 games?
Well, I think you got to eliminate distractions. Damon knows about this. We've talked about this before, and it's not just football. It's a corporation. You got to eliminate distractions. And I think the dynamics of DR15 and his uncle and his dad and who he was and what he was supposed to do for Nebraska, it became a distraction. And I don't think Nebraska was equipped to handle that distraction. They weren't good enough 1 through 105 to overcome something like that. And so you move on and you get a guy who, you can think differently about, and it opens up, it unlocks some things. And I also think, you're not going to have a guy that at quarterback is going to come out of the tunnel walk, run by Bud Crawford onto the field when you're like, whoa, the champ is here. Shouldn't he be running first onto the field? And I say that, and that's a subtle thing that I heard from players like in the offseason. I'm like, that struck me as something that was very odd and uncomfortable, that one guy is, and they're like, yeah, but we just kind of, I think everybody runs onto the field together, if that makes sense. But I think there's also just a breath of fresh air. It's something we can do. Hey, I've seen this. Isaiah Hunter the other day said one of the first bits of film he saw of Calandria was him lowering his shoulder and running over a guy. So I think it just unlocks, hey, we can do this, and then we can do this because we have this. And I also think you might be more willing in that quarterback room because Latif's a year older. By the way, he was really more comfortable on Tuesday talking to the media than any time last year. You got Danny Cailou, who is a veteran. I just think you have a breath of fresh air, and you have possibilities that you didn't have last year just because of the skill set. When Dylan was good, he could have been great. When Dylan wasn't what Nebraska needed, Nebraska really was stuck in neutral. So you move on. He's somewhere else. Nebraska's got to worry about the guys they got here. And I like that quarterback room that, by the way, includes 2 guys in that room that beat UCLA last year. Welcome to the world of portal college football.
Ask you about, give me a dark horse. UCLA is the popular pick. Chesney was scary. I thought, again, as a body language, all-in press conference guy, used to make fun of me for. He did not seem like a Hollywood guy. Super pragmatic, process-oriented. I was like, ooh, if that fits, that could be interesting because I think he's going to give them some substance. Some people like Illinois. Some like Rutgers. Do you have a team that you're thinking, is Washington the new Rutgers, just with a better program where everybody looks at them on the schedule and is like, better watch out?
Wait, who has said that you better watch out for Rutgers?
Well, that's always that game on the schedule, and people tuck a little bit. It's certainly that way this year. Don't kid yourself.
I think the combination of the head coach and the quarterback and what they have returning and kind of what they're building in Seattle, I think makes Washington one of those teams to look out for. But there's also some teams in this league that you look at who they lost, like Iowa, for example, Illinois, and you go, okay, they're going to take, and then you stop and you go, no, because what they do is they fall out of bed at the beginning of the season and they have 7 wins in their back pocket, and their goal is to find 1 more or 2 more. I think that's the beauty of the middle pack of the Big Ten, is you got to be able to be every year at least 7-win team that finds a way to win 1, 2, and 3. And if you get to 3, you're going to be knocking on the door of the playoff. I do like Washington. I like USC, and I think the Big Ten needs USC to break through this year. They didn't get good news yesterday, losing their starting center for the entire year. But the middle of the pack, Minnesota, and not necessarily like, oh my gosh, watch out for Minnesota. Minnesota appears to be in the year where they're going to either bump up or they're going to bump down. They won't stay the same. So I'm watching Minnesota, and of course Wisconsin. Everybody's going to keep an eye on what Fickell's going to do there. But I love the Big Ten. I think there are no off Saturdays in the Big Ten anymore, and you got to be ready to play. Another sneaky game, and I'll be curious to see where they're at when they roll into Lincoln, is Maryland. If you go back to last year, you look at the Nebraska game, there were some games where they blew the game in the fourth quarter. If not, they're probably bowling. They got a really good quarterback that nobody paid attention to at Big Ten Media Days. Maryland and Mike Loxley, with the pressure on, how do they perform? So I think it's going to be a great year for the Big Ten. Tell you what, we have turned the success of the Big Ten has turned the SEC brains into mush because they just say all kinds of crazy stuff. You would think they're in politics down in the SEC for all the wild stuff that they say. But can you imagine, guys, if not only the Big Ten wins a title for the fourth straight year, but it's a fourth different school, and that there were two blue bloods, a newbie who is an up-and-comer, and then a new addition to your league, what that would do to the SEC?
I usually don't go on the offensive on social media, but the day that the coaches poll came out and national guys were like using that as an indictment, I was losing my mind. I was like, I might as well just let the old proverbial nuts hang here because this is just idiocy, what people were saying on social media. It's like, do you guys not have, I get it, you don't have editors, you just hit send, but you don't believe what you're saying right now, do you? You just seem desperate.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, D's nuts. I think, you can't handle what you used to have. And the only way to change that isn't through discussion, it's go out and do it on the field. Back to your point, I like Georgia as well. But it's just like you can't have a conversation because what the Big Ten has done, the SEC can't handle. And good for the Big Ten because the Big Ten isn't going anywhere anytime soon. I don't think this is we just had this 5-year run. I think the Big Ten has lifted itself from 1 down to 18. Some have lifted higher than others. That the SEC is going to have to adapt. And I don't know. I think it's great for college football. I just wish we had college football where everybody doesn't have an agenda on what network you're representing. You just love talking about the sport. And you love talking about the intricacies and the nuances of the sport and the debate that is, and not, I'm SEC, you're Big Ten, let's go. How about we talk about how great college football is right now when we get to when the games kick off and we can play games and not talk about all the other crap?
How about this for irony? You talked
These
about
nuts.
I can't believe you said that. Why don't you say that on Twitter? Before you attack anybody, go, I'm just going to let my nuts hang here. Here we go. I would favorite that tweet.
That's one of the things that DB says so casually, and everybody else just kind of looks around and like, wait, what?
That's just that's what I think competing is. Like, I don't know. I'm weird, as you guys know. The irony of the school that stole Nebraska's identity, that we had this weird affinity for, that hated our guts in Wisconsin, hires Eichhorst, Fickle's on the hot seat, and this guy, Jason Eck, is out here who is looming over the program as the prodigal son who gets a chance to come home. How would you like to be Fickle this year, knowing your back's against the wall with Eck just out there waiting in the wings, probably going to win 9 from New Mexico again, minimum?
Welcome to the business. I mean, you got to win football games. And they haven't won football games at Wisconsin. Granted, they do have a ranked win. Last year, they beat Washington and Madison. When you get squeezed, you find out the truth about someone. But the atmosphere, if they go south, if at Lambeau they get just completely rolled by Notre Dame, you know what it's going to be like. It is going to be a long lead up to December, and everybody's going to be focusing on Eck. My question will be, and you and I know him a little bit, he's a really good football coach. He's a good football coach. Just football coach. He's a football guy. Is who gets to him first? Is it back to Wisconsin, or would it be a place like Kansas?
I think ahead of guys like DJ Kenny, and who else did I put on that list? You like Dan Mullen.
I like Dan Mullen as
good call, Ravi.
And we talked to Dave Bartu about this. I'd still like
who was hilarious, by the way. He had a bad reception, but Bartu was big. He was in full-fledged Bartu mode.
I'd still like to see Jamie Chadwell get a shot at a higher level job, although he didn't have a great year at Liberty last year. But no, I mean, I think Eck is the pick of the litter, right?
Could you see Brom ever leaving Louisville?
No.
Best program of those 2023 hires, right? He's the only, but could you ever see Brom? Because they could win that opener.
Yeah. I don't think so. I think he's back home. I think he's in a comfortable spot. I think he likes the setup there. I think he likes the conference. He smiles a lot more than he did at Purdue. Now, listen, he's a good football coach. I think coaches will probably start to appreciate a little bit more where their feet are instead of always chasing that next job. And Brom is in a place which is a perfect fit for him. I think there's part of, we can all chase the money and the lifestyle and the name on the job, but at some point you just have to be happy. I mean, you got to like being where you're at, where you can be happy doing your job, and that's coaching football. And he just looks like a guy, every time you heard him, like at ACC Media Days talking to the media, he looks like a guy that is so happy and where they're at as a program, because it's not like, hey, we're here and I'm back home. I mean, they're making inroads, and their trajectory is headed in the right place. That'd be a fun year in the state of Kentucky to watch him at Louisville and then to see what Will Stein does in his first year at Kentucky.
Quietly had a really good day. He flew under the radar because of his, number one, people compared him to Cignetti and kind of his bravado, but I thought he had pretty good command, and I'm always interested to see what happens with Minchie.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, Kenny Minchie, for not coming to Nebraska. What would the offseason chatter be like, guys, if Minchie would be here instead of Calandria? Just the kind of quarterback that they are. I think the Tommy Armstrong-esque Mayfield, Manziel, the mystery of Calandria, you go, Minchie would have been solid, but would it have given you the same buzz? I don't know. I think he's going to be happy in Kentucky.
That is one Gary Sharp.
Hey, can I ask one quick question? You guys don't have commercials, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so last night, and this is the Hall of Fame game and the ceremonies this weekend, and I learned this. The reason that Damon wears 21 is Roger Craig. Okay.
Correct.
People don't probably realize that he wore number 21. Every time I see Roger Craig, and there's, from the Nebraska angle, I'm kind of bummed out. And I wish that we could get Roger Craig back more into the fold. And maybe we don't appreciate how Roger Craig in his last year sacrificed his ego to be a blocking back for Mike Rozier. And maybe the guy just wanted to win. It all turned out for him. He's going into Canton. Finally, he had an amazing NFL career. I think Roger Craig, I would love for him to be back in the mix at Nebraska. And maybe it takes Jamie Williams, who, if Jamie Williams doesn't come to Nebraska, Roger Craig doesn't come to Nebraska, because Roger Craig was going to go to Iowa, and Jamie Williams said, who's going to block for you? And those two who grew up in the Quad Cities, they end up in Lincoln. I don't know. Just my thought watching Roger Craig last night.
So that's definitely on the radar. It's just there's some things going on with Roger personally where I get what the images look like, and he's he appears to be happy, but he's just football has taken its toll on him. So not my story to tell, but I think that's definitely the intention. Just full circle. And, it would mean the world to me. So I think you're on the right track there.
Yeah, I think it's amazing what Turner Gill did for Roger, because I wasn't following the program back then. To convince Roger Craig to become a blocking back, can you imagine what the conversation was between Coach Osborne and Roger Craig to say, hey, you've been the highlighted eye back. We got this guy coming from a junior college in Kansas. We'd like you guys to play together. For the greater good, can you be essentially a blocking back?
That came with a price.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
I knew you wouldn't, even though it wasn't. They don't tell me anything. I told you that. I was pretty excited. We spelled your name. We spelled your name right too.
Yeah, I know you got the R next to the Y, so that's good. Or you're talking about the last name.
Well, you don't skip a beat, do you? Numbnuts.
Well, hey, I gotta protect the first name Gary. There are very few Garys anymore. Like when babies are born, they don't go, "That looks like a Gary." I mean.
Oh, shoot. That is Gary Sharp. We appreciate the time as always.
Love you guys.
Yeah.
That's Gary Sharp from the Omaha World Herald. We'll have to have Gary.
We didn't even ask him about the new gig.
That's all right. We can talk to him later.
It's fine.
We'll have to have Gary back on again soon.
I'm sure that'll happen.
Let's take a quick break here. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live. We will be back in just a minute.
Oh my gosh, like literally everyone there. Anna Dodson was incredible. Chiaka was incredible. Molly was incredible. Molly McCage, she was incredible. Like they all just, Anna Stevenson, well, she's now Anna Hall, I'm pretty sure. Or it's the other way around. I don't know. Just like literally all of them, all the middles there, Asia O'Neill, they were all so welcoming to me and I had so much fun with them. And I could ask them any question and they were just so willing to give me even a long-winded answer. Like they were never short with me if I had anything about their collegiate career, their pro career, the national team experience that they've had. Like they were willing to sit there with me and talk about it for the next 30 minutes. And I'm so grateful for that. And if I ever had questions about, what did I do wrong on that block move? Or do you think I should do this or that? Like they were willing to help me and it was no animosity at all, which I was really grateful for. Like they were all so welcoming.
If losing weight is harder than you expected, it's not just about willpower. At Next Gen Male Medical Clinic, we build a supervised plan around your body, not someone else's. Schedule a visit at nextgenmmc.com. Let's get you moving forward.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We'll be joined in just a few minutes by Mike Sautter from Hurrdat Sports and NEB Preps. But I have to remind you to call our friends over at Next Gen Male Medical. 402-614-9700. It's the place to go no matter what you need to get feeling your best. I've lost over 50 pounds on the GLP-1s. I know DB and I have both been on the peptides. We're feeling great. And every once in a while, you just get a little vitamin shot. Maybe you're spending some time out at Pinnacle Bank Championship like I am this weekend, and they got their hydration IVs if you need them. They got some vitamin shots to get you back on your feet because, we're not as young as we used to be. Sometimes takes a little, although DB looks as young as he's ever been. You got to have a little extra recovery sometimes. Give him a call, 402-614-9700. We'll get to Mike here in just a couple minutes, but there was something that we hadn't got a chance to talk about over the last couple of days, but Gary brought it up there in his segment there about the preseason rankings and things like this. And I know everybody tries to tell me like, oh, these don't matter and things like that. And it's just always this, well, you don't have to pay attention to them things. But this is the problem. It all starts from the preseason rankings with 9 SEC teams and 8 Big Ten teams. And listen, that's a pretty close number. That's not my issue here. The issue is the perception of these teams that we start with versus what we end up thinking about them later in the season. We've talked about this a bunch with Nebraska having a ranked win versus not having a ranked win, right? Their win over Colorado in Lincoln ended up being over a better team than their loss against a ranked Colorado the year before. So these things are all kind of convoluted in that sense. But the reason it really bothers me is you get these narratives out there, and I know the big one on Twitter was Pete Burns, right? He just erroneously and incorrectly gave out these stats about what all these SEC teams play, all these ranked teams, and the Big Ten doesn't play, none of them play 5. And it just wasn't true. There's just as many Big Ten teams playing ranked preseason opponents as the SEC. But this is where this whole Ponzi scheme thing that I always talk about comes into play. This is how they start it, because if you take a bunch of teams in the middle, and for me personally, the worst part was in this midsection of the AP poll, where the SEC just gets a cluster of teams that at some point over the course of the season, we're going to talk about this stretch of Texas, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Alabama from 8 to 11, and we're going to use that to justify the rest of the league at some point by saying, oh, well, they lost to this team, but it was a close loss, and then they beat them, and it's this whole giant circle, and we just, 8 to 11 is too high for those teams. There's too many question marks for some of these teams. I mean, and I'll put Texas Tech in there too, which is an insane spot for them. But you're telling me you know more about Ole Miss with a new coach. And I know we love Trinidad Chambliss. I know we love Trinidad Chambliss. But you're telling me we know 17 spots better or 16 spots better about a new coach at Michigan than we do about a new coach at Ole Miss than we do about a new coach at Michigan, or a new coach at Ole Miss than we do a new coach at Penn State, who brought most of his team with him and has they actually do have a pretty easy schedule in the Big East. And then you've got the A&M one kind of throws me here because I don't know anybody that's sold on Marcel Reed. I know they have a really good roster, but they're also losing a offensive coordinator in Colin Klein to go be the head coach at Kansas State that DB has brought up a ton. And we just keep looking at this and say, okay, A&M is supposed to be this thing because they were finally broke through and were good last year. I've got questions about A&M. I've got questions about Miami for that matter too. But there's just so many of these teams that get clustered together, and then we use it to justify how the rest of their season goes. And this is why I get upset about the SEC and their Ponzi scheme and all of that. Look, don't get me wrong. I have questions about the Big Ten teams too, but Washington with their questions at 19 makes more sense. That's a back quarter of the top 25 poll. That's a good place for a team where you're like, hey, a lot of returners. We like the quarterback. We like the head coach, but there was some weirdness going on there, right? I think we know more about USC than we do A&M, Bama, and Ole Miss. Bama's breaking in a new quarterback as well. We don't even know who that's going to be yet. They don't know who it's going to be yet. And none of us are really in love with the job that Kalen DeBoer's done there. I mean, when you're questioning toughness and physicality at Alabama, we've got we have jumped the shark there. We have a whole other problem in Tuscaloosa. yet still they basically get a top 10 ranking because it's Alabama. I don't really know what the logic is there. We didn't love them last year. We didn't love them 2 years ago. And the further they get away from the Saban the more you see undisciplined football, you see non-physical football. Like, I don't know what the fascination with Alabama is this year when we've got a huge question mark going into the season. And listen, I'm as much of giving Kalen DeBoer benefit of the doubt on quarterbacks as anybody, but at this point in Tuscaloosa, I'm also giving him kind of credit for what we've seen. And this has not been a terribly disciplined football team, and that has cost them multiple times over the last 2 years, yet somehow they still get credit as a top 11 team in the country. And that's going to be a problem when we come 3 months from now and have narratives about who beat who and what those teams actually were, because I guarantee you there are SEC teams in this top 10 right now that aren't going to end up being ranked by the end of the year, or top 11, that aren't going to be ranked by the end of the year, yet someone else in that league is going to get credit for a top 10 win because they beat them at the right time in the season. That's where this becomes a huge problem. You really don't have that with the Big Ten because all their ranked teams outside of the major ones you would think with Ohio State and Oregon and Indiana are all backloaded in the bottom half of the top 25. So there's my top 25 rant. I know DB doesn't like preseason rant talk, so we did that one solo. But coming up next, we'll have Mike Sautter from Hurrdat Sports and NEB Preps as we get into the third hour of the show. We'll be right back. More Hurrdat Sports Live after this.
When I was there, and I'm sure now too, there's just so many girls that are committed to like large schools, and so that makes high school so competitive and just really creates a good environment to then be ready for that college volleyball as well. Obviously it's a step up, but I was a lot more prepared going to Purdue after my high school season and all that entailed, just because there are so many talented people that have come out of Nebraska, and it's a volleyball state for a reason. There's the fans at Nebraska are unreal, not just for Nebraska volleyball, but especially for all the high schools and for their local players. And obviously all those fans for the high schools are then the fans for the Nebraska team. So that's what makes it so special. But also in Indiana, it's the exact same way. I've lived there for 4 years now, and it's literally the same feel as Nebraska.
Everyone's talking about peptides. You are doing it right. At NextGen Male Medical Clinic, peptide treatments are clinician guided, tailored to your goals, monitored for safety. Call today or visit nextgenmmc.com.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Mail Medical. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Mike Sautter from Hurrdat Sports and NAB Preps. Mike, how are we doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing fine. Just working really hard on trying to not be a dilettante. So, yeah.
What do you mean?
I don't want to be a know-it-all at a lot of things. I'd rather be a know-it-all at a certain number of things. So, yeah.
Okay. So I just want you to know, DB is not joining us this morning. He said, I don't want to talk to that Mike Sautter. I'm out. And so he left. He's gone.
He's scared. That's all right.
He broke his phone. And so you're going to love this. He was trying to unwrap an alcohol bottle cap lid, and it was a particularly heavy lid, and he dropped it on the phone, and it cracked the screen.
So that seems very unathletic.
It wasn't great, but now like he's got one of those busted ass Androids, so like he was still using fingerprint technology, which is like 10 years old.
Green dot, yeah.
And so he now that the screen's cracked, the fingerprint technology doesn't work or anything. So he's like, I gotta get this fixed, otherwise I can't do anything.
Maybe, hey, this is the perfect time for him to join the real world and not have a green dot phone anymore.
This is what I told him about. He said he's mulling his options, but he has to get it fixed before he can trade it in either way. So that's what today's appointment is getting it fixed.
He's that guy that is in the group chat and you can't really actually send what you want to send in the group chat because he's the one green dot Android phone.
The funny part of it is like they've done enough where you can send your reactions and stuff now, but because I don't know if it's his phone or an Android thing or whatever, is he ends up with like 8 different strands from the same group chat.
Right.
And it's like, brother, just come on, man. What are we doing?
He's old though. Old people like the green dot phone.
I mean, my parents do have Androids. Not that they're old, but they're older than DB. So that,
That's fair. Hey, by the way, I bought that same hat yesterday. I'm going to wear it today.
No, it's a good hat. It's our Hurrdat Pinnacle Bank Championship hats, or our golf hats. I don't know that it's specific to Pinnacle Bank Championship, but we got the Hurrdat dog golf in here, and then we got a little Hurrdat, other side, Hurrdat H right there. There you go. Yeah, you can go get them at the Hurrdat Brain Goods tent.
Yeah, hole 17. That place would be bumping today.
Yeah, it was a little slow start yesterday because I think the weather and it's a Thursday and people still work. But about noon today, people start getting from noon today all the way through tomorrow. It gets pretty turned up.
It'll be a little turned. I won't be. I have to work the tent today, so from 10 to 2. So I guess after 2, probably.
I'll say, did you end up enjoying any beverages yesterday?
I had a couple.
Yeah.
And then I did go home and mow my yard because it needed it.
You got the lawn done?
Yeah, double cut it too because just wanted to.
Have we ever asked this? I don't know if we have or not. Are you like a lawn beer guy, like a yard work beer guy? Because it seems like you're laser focused. I didn't know if you wanted any impairment while you're making sure your lawn is taken care of.
After.
Okay.
After I'm done. Yeah, after I'm done, I'll sit on the front stoop. And is it called a stoop? Yeah, the front steps, porch thing. And there are sometimes, I didn't last night, but sometimes I'll sit there and have a beer and just stare at my lawn. After
you kind of look at your, kind of like Simba and Pride Rock, who's looking over all that belongs to you.
Exactly. It's like, man, I did a great job here.
All right. So obviously we got Pinnacle Bank this week.
Yeah.
But Camp Confidential is back and rip roaring and ready to go. Like, what's the schedule looking like there? I'm excited to start seeing some of these.
kicked off. When was that? Wednesday we did that. First one was Lincoln Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
And I did them because they play a week 0 game. So they play Standing Bear week 0, which is not this Friday, but next Friday.
Was that the 21st? Is that right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they're a week ahead. They're the only week 11 or that Standing Bear and Lincoln Northwest game is the only 11-man game in the state in week 0. So, and there's only about 5 other ones, but games total across the state for week 0. So that one will have a lot of attention just by default, right? So wanted to check out them, and I attempted to go to Standing Bear, but I don't know. Like, I guess when you leave 2 voicemails on 2 separate days and you don't get a call back, that means I'm not going to try any harder than that to go to practice. So I did go to Northwest. Coach Locke is great guy, Pierce guy actually. He's from Pierce, and Sammy Jurgens is a good quarterback, especially off balance, out of the pocket, rolling out. He's really good at that stuff. He made a hell of his last throw of the day. They were doing some, I guess, red zone offense stuff, and he made a play. Like he was rolling out to his left, threw it back towards the middle, over the top, got the guy right in the back of the end zone. It was awesome. So it was a great throw. He's really good at that. So they're obviously looking to improve. They're 1-8 last year. They're moving up to Class A this year. Northwest is, and their schedule, I think, kind of does them favors, I guess, if you will. So he's pretty good, and I loved Cooper Floyd, their linebacker, just smart kid, and he led the team with 49 tackles and 3 sacks last year, and only played 6 games because of injuries. So he's a good player, and then Xavier Wells is a good receiver. So that's good. They have a nice group. Line play obviously is going to be important for them, like it is kind of with those sort of teams that are trying to emerge, if you will. But they'll be pretty good. And then Monday's the big day, though. Monday is a big day. I'll be at West Side early at 5:30 in the morning, because Coach Lamongi loves that 5:30 in the morning stuff. Just nuts. So I'll be at West Side on Monday morning, and then I'll be at Archbishop Bergen on Monday right after West Side. It'll be West Side 5:30 to 7:30, Bergen 9 to 11:30, Omaha North 12:30 to 2:30, and then Millard South from 3:30 or whatever to 6, I think. So that's Monday.
So somebody asked me out for 2 questions first. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Number 1, if week 0 I decide I want to go see an 8-man game, what's the best one that's like relatively close?
Oh man.
Or is there one relatively close at all?
Yeah, I'm on it right now, so let me look really quick.
I'll buy you some time here while you're looking.
Yeah, I got it. It's
okay.
Right here. I already had it up. So it's there's Bayard Sandhills versus Sandhills Valley, Hyannis versus Mullen, Sutherland versus Brady, and Juanita Palisade versus Maxwell. When you say relatively close, none of those are relatively like close within an hour or 2 or 3, not even 3 hours from Omaha, if you will. So you're looking at the kind of North Platte area, I guess, would be all of those, right? So or farther west. So Mullen Hyannis is kind of in that group. Sutherland Brady is definitely right around North Platte. Juanita Palisade Maxwell is kind of in that Gothenburg, and Maxwell's right by North Platte-ish too. So Bayard and Sandhills Valley is in the Panhandle. So
I'm going to Lincoln.
You're Standing Bear versus in Standing Bear, Paul Hart. It's a good opportunity for people to see him. He's blown up this summer with his recruiting. So at Standing Bear, it's a great opportunity for people that want to see him to go see him. And
No, that's good because I probably, I mean, with West Side, Millard South, Millard North, there's a pretty good chance I won't leave the Metro the rest of the season. So that's a good opportunity for me to get to Lincoln.
Yeah. And he's a good, again, you don't want to see one high level player. I'm sure like all the, Husker beat writer recruiting people will likely be at that game just to watch him play. So
somebody asked me an interesting question at the golf tournament yesterday about high school football. And they asked me, outside of the West Side game for Millard South in week 9, what are the chances that they play multiple other competitive games over the course of the season?
I think Creighton Prep's going to be pretty good, and that's week 1. Creighton Prep has a very experienced line. They go probably too deep on both
lines. Talking West Side on this one. Okay.
Yeah, West Side. Yeah, I think Prep West Side week 1 it could be a pretty competitive game. Mm-hmm. Prep up front, like they rotate a lot of guys, and they have a lot of depth.
They kind of grew together, right? Like they all started pretty young as sophomores, and that whole group is seniors now, right?
Right, like Jake Brock's in that group, and like he's probably the bigger-ish name. So I don't know. I think Prep is really, 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 really scary. So I'm gonna see them, I think, Tuesday afternoon. So I'm actually really excited to see them play or practice and kind of go through it. So from reports, I wasn't there, but from reports they were they handled themselves very well against Millard South at the Nebraska team camp this summer.
Okay.
So, yeah. So that's kind of, like that's also, a camp in June. So it doesn't really matter that much.
Anybody else on the West Side schedule? So they go at Creighton Prep, Lee Summit, at Bell West, Central, at Papio, Lincoln North Star, Norfolk, at Papio South before that Millard South game. Any other games on that schedule that kind of like jump out at you?
Papio South, had a run last year and were really good. They lost some players and some key leadership positions, but Colin Rayburn, their quarterback's back. So he's, a piece there. Obviously don't know anything about the out-of-state game, like in that opponent. So don't really know those things. But here's the deal. When it gets to like that week 9 game for West Side Millard South, by that point, we could already kind of know who's going to be where they're going to be. Doesn't matter who wins that game or loses that game, as long as they're on the opposite sides of each other, like as far as wild card points are concerned. So that game might be pretty vanilla. Like it has a chance to be not as, not this thing that.
So not like a couple years ago where they faced, I think it wasn't the last week of the season. I think it was like week 8 maybe.
Yeah.
Where it was pretty, it was pretty intense.
Yeah. I'm sure it still will be just because there's this new rivalry-ish between them. But I think that one, we could by then already know what they're going to be or where they're going to be as far as, playoff seeding is concerned. And it could just be kind of a dud. Right.
They may not show a lot of cards, you mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So now, Millard South's week 1 game is Millard North. And
I wanted to go to the Millard South side of things now too, because kind of the same question. Like, are there other places on Millard South schedule where you go, okay, Millard North week 1, you've got new guys at Millard South, you've got guys that certainly don't have the continuity that the last couple teams for the Patriots have had. Like, how much do you kind of factor in the continuity versus the players lost, which we know is significant in a week 1 game against Millard North that brought in a bunch of guys that are pretty talented?
Yeah, Trey Taylor can kind of make up for a lot of that.
Sure, so, absolutely. Yeah,
he's amazing.
Yeah.
But Millard North is a team that like probably going to start the season top 3, 4. I don't see them being less than 4 in like our coaches poll when we do that, which by the way, the first coaches poll will be August 16th. So
from Sunday.
A week from Sunday, yeah. So we'll see.
The other one in the top 4?
Probably prep.
Okay.
Yeah. That's me. If I was doing it, that's how I would do it. So I'm guessing it'll be something like that. I mean, you have Torrey Pittman, you have a bunch of other guys. Like Colin Haney's still a pretty good back. So it's just a matter of up front, what does it look like, right? Matt Erickson's there at Millard North, so see about that. But Millard South defensively is going to take a step back. You have to take a step back. Like you're not going to give up 41 points for the whole season again. Like that's just not likely going to happen, right? So that's one of those situations where you have these new faces and how quickly can they gel and come together. But I know obviously they've been working a lot. I think they'll be fine. And to be quite honest, Trey Taylor makes up for a lot of his teammates' mistakes. The thing that I like about him after watching him, obviously watch him 7-on-7, like the whole tournament. But I did go to like a workout of theirs in June. His ability, if a play breaks down, to use his legs is something that is different.
Mm-hmm.
So like look for maybe a little bit of that or a lot of that. So that one will be interesting. And I'm sure like Coach Mendenhall is a smart coach and does a great job. They'll probably use Tay Ellis in a bunch of different ways instead of just like, hey, go run a go route and we'll just throw it up to you. Like I think they can get a little tricky, if you will, with him. Like I'd run him on some jet sweeps and stuff like that.
For Millard South, and I know this is 7-on-7, my frame of reference for this, so I take that with a grain of salt and understand that it's not directly translatable. But one of the things that really stuck out to me, you mentioned the defense taking a step back. Guys were getting open against the Millard South secondary on like a pretty regular basis, and not just the other D1 guys kind of in the field. Like guys were able to get open. How much of that is a concern for you versus like, hey, it's 7-on-7, it's just going to be different?
Yeah, I mean, you have 4 seconds to throw the ball, and in 7-on-7, and a lot of times like you don't have that much time, linemen. So I think it's probably something to do with that. I know like Coach Urban's a great coach and defensive coach, and they'll get it figured out. He coaches them really, really, really hard. It's just a thing where like, I mean, they lost some really good players. So it's just how do you look at that? Now, when I say they lost players, when I was prepping for Westside and going to their practice, guess what? Westside also lost 9 of their top 10 tacklers from last year to graduation. Mm-hmm. So they lost some guys too. So like, let's, make sure we're on that, same kind of vein. If you just look at the production piece, one guy from Millard South, I think Urban Kennedy is going to have a chance to really step up this year and fill a pretty big role. And do a really nice job at linebacker for them. So he's played a lot. And kind of multi-sport guy. I played baseball too, so I think he has a chance to kind of pop and really be a name that people are like, oh, like that kid's pretty good. When last year he was kind of the not second fiddle. He played a lot, but he wasn't like the Tegan Urban that was making all the plays and tackles and stuff like that. So I think that Urban Kennedy's got a chance to be a guy there.
What team are you most excited to see over the course of your Camp Confidential series?
That's a great question. To be honest, like, because I've never been there, I'm going to Pierce on Thursday night, and I'm excited to see them because in C1 there's a lot of buzz around them this year. Tyler Legate is their head coach first year being the football head coach. He was a defensive coordinator for years. He's also their wrestling coach. And Tyler, if you remember that name, he played at Nebraska, fullback. He's a walk-on guy there. So, and he is a savant with his encyclopedia of his brain of this, oh, hey, I can't think of this name of this person from whatever years ago. He just knows it. So there's some buzz around them. So I think that's probably the one that I'm kind of most excited about. I'm also the second week I'm going to Grand Island Central Catholic, and by all accounts, they're just going to roll everybody in Class C2 because they have all this talent and stuff. So I'm excited to see them too. That's my those would be the two. And I think it's probably just because I can't just run down the street and watch them, So I think those are the two in that situation.
What class do you think is most competitive in terms of teams that could win a state title?
Oh man. So actually the new class D3, which is ridiculous, by the way, that we have a third 8-man class in Nebraska. It's the dumbest thing. I don't understand it at all. I never understood that at all. When they decided it just makes no sense. We should have less classes, not more. In my opinion, we should have 4 classes, A, B, C, D, and call it a day. But D3 is actually going to be pretty competitive. You have Archangels, Central Valley, Why Not are all in that mix. I think that has a chance to be really, really competitive. C1 is going to be really interesting too, because you have Wahoo, Sydney, Ashland Greenwood, Lakeview, all of there's a bunch of teams that lost a lot. Wahoo had 17 seniors last year and 16 of them started. Mm-hmm. But they're still going to be really good. Sydney obviously lost some players, but they're still going to be really good too. I think C1 has got a chance to be uber competitive. And then I think B, I think you said last week, Gretna East, Waverly, you lost Bennington and Elkhorn North up to Class A. So you lose 2 perennial semifinal, at least quarterfinal most of the time. In Bennington's case, state finalist programs. So Gretna East and Waverly are the 2 that are sitting kind of at the top-ish right now. The thing about Class B, also Scott in there too.
What about Norris this year?
What
about Norris this year?
Yeah, Norris, Evan Greenfield quarterback. They got a chance to be right in that mix too. They're having a midnight practice on Sunday that I did think about going to, but then I'm I'm not going to sleep for an hour and wake up and go to West Side. So that's just probably not going to happen. So anyway, Norris is in that mix, I believe too. In B. B's a little more I do believe Gretna East right now to start the year is probably the one, would start at 1, just because they return a quarterback. They got a lot of pieces coming back. And Waverly lost some pieces, but Waverly's still going to be pretty good because they got their quarterback back and all that stuff. So the Gretna's in that mix in B. That's probably has a chance there too. So Scotts Bluff is always something to watch out for in B. Class B, this is something that talked to our guy Cody Manquist yesterday, and he reminded me that the emerging district in Class B is happening, where that gets there's only 24 teams in Class B, and 16 make the playoffs. So
that's a little impressive.
So And then you have the emerging district where whatever, there's 6 teams, 5, 6 teams, whatever it is in that district, and the district champion of that emerging district is the automatic 16 seed. Mm-hmm. So it basically takes out the other teams. So really there's
19, 18, 19 teams.
Yeah, only 3 teams are gonna not make the playoffs technically. in Class B. So like,
that's a little goofy. That's a little goofy.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to one of those things where like, if we just had 4 classes, you'd have so many more teams, and making the playoffs would be way bigger, of a situation. So, yeah,
So you've mentioned Bennington, and you think they're going to be just fine moving up to Class A. I don't think we've talked about Elkhorn North and how you think they'll do moving up to Class A.
I think the same situation. I think they'll be maybe at least this year a tick behind Bennington, just because Bennington returns quarterback, running back. So Ty Bufakeo, their quarterback's pretty good, and Will Goots is in there. So I think they'll be just fine. Elkhorn North loses a lot, but they still have like Christo's really good and really good athlete, and Coach Stanley does a great job. So I think they should be contending for a playoff spot, in Class A. I think that's a lot of people that just look at it because of like school size numbers.
Yeah,
need to really understand that like the top of Class B is significantly better than the bottom half, at least bottom half of Class A.
Yeah.
Like it's significantly better.
And most of the difference when you get into higher than that ends up being a depth issue, right?
Right. Yeah. Like you just have more, numbers are higher, but like okay, for this analogy that I just said, you take your Bennington, Elkhorn North, Waverly, Gretna East, Scott. Let's just throw those Class B names in there.
Mm-hmm.
They would be just as good, if not better, than the maybe 17 to 32 or whatever, however many teams.
So basically, I mean, most of the non-playoff teams, you think they're better than most of the non-playoff teams?
Yep. I think consistently year in, year out, I think it's not even really close, to be honest. I think they're significantly better.
I don't think that's a hot take. It kind of sounds like one, but I mean, when you think about it, I don't think it is. Like that makes sense.
I think just the casual people that like follow and don't really know like the struggles or the challenges, daily challenges that some of the lower end Class A schools have to deal with. It's a lot different.
I think people, you hear Class A, they think of Millard South, West Side, those teams, and it's like that's not the group we're talking about. We're talking about the teams that end up having to forfeit some games to those teams because they and there the numbers dramatically favor the Class B teams, right? Like you have teams in Class A that struggle to put out like a 2 deep.
Right, but their school population is
huge, right? Yeah, they're a Class A school, but just their actual football team is tiny and smaller than a lot of Class B schools.
Demographics matter a lot in this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Like Grand Island is one of the biggest schools, whatever, in the state, but like they just have kids, like their school population is such that like football is not like what a ton of those kids do. You know what I mean? Like Omaha South is the biggest school in the state, a Class A school, as far as student population. What is Omaha South always good at?
Soccer.
Awesome. It's because it's because that's the demographic.
That's the thing they care about, right? Like it's
right. Like that's their community. That's like what it is. They don't. It's not like Omaha North where they have football as their thing. You know what I mean? Like it's 2 different things. So I think a lot of that conversation, like a lot of people need to, think about that piece when we're kind of having those discussions.
Where you go to these Class B schools, whether it's a Gretna East or a Waverly or a Scott or wherever, and football is, obviously Scott's good at everything basically, but a lot of these, it's like, hey, football is our thing. This is the thing that we care about and that we want to be good at.
Correct. Yeah. And you have, more affluent parents and, people that can pay for the extra training and the, different stuff when
the summer stuff and the extracurricular.
Yeah. Right. Some of those other schools, they can't afford that, right? And that's not a knock on them. So
yeah, just the reality of the situation. Mike, appreciate the time as always. At some point, I'm going to sit down with you and we're going to have a in-depth discussion on Miller North football this year. But today is not that day, luckily for you. So we will go ahead. What's up?
I'll be there Friday.
I was going to ask that after Friday, after next Friday, we'll have our Miller North deep dive. Okay.
I'll be at Lakeview 5:30 in the morning in Columbus on Friday, and then I'll be at Miller North Friday afternoon. So
is that the 14th? Shoot, I don't think I can go with you. Otherwise, I might crash your little Miller North party. But I don't think I'll be around on the afternoon of the 14th. So unfortunately, we might have to have a phone call.
Yeah. Well, you got my number.
And I might be on the road, so you might get the Mike Sautter special where it's like, hey, I'm driving. What's up?
I love calling people when I'm driving.
I know you do.
That's just what I do. By the way, I've moved some stuff around in here. I have my Jets shrine.
We know it's football season now. We got the Jets shrine out.
Yeah, move the Jets shrine. I still have the pictures of my children right there. But,
sure, yeah. But obviously Jets top shelf because priorities.
Yeah. I moved my Jets stuff from over here to over here. I moved the books around. So I just, top of mind right there.
How are you feeling about Geno Smith era 2.0?
Feel better than the Zach Wilson era or the whatever the hell we tried last year era. So,
well, good luck and Godspeed.
I think Cade Klubnik is getting a lot of buzz in camp for some reason.
He got a lot of buzz at Clemson too. How'd that go?
I know. That's why I said it like I said it. So I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. Hey, just doesn't matter really. Like if they make the playoffs, which probably won't happen, that's fine. We got 3 draft picks and we're going to get the quarterback of the future. So.
Listen, as long you get to watch Jets football in like a month. That's the best part, right? You get to watch Jets football.
You know how much of a degenerate Jets fan I am? I pay for NFL Sunday Ticket and have for at least a decade, if not longer. Like I had to get DirecTV because that's where Sunday Ticket was. So I had to, buy DirecTV with a dish and everything just so I could watch Jets football and pay I think it's like $400 a year for Sunday Ticket. Now it is fantastic, especially if you have the squirrel ADD like I do sometimes.
Oh,
when you have the not the 4 games going at once, but when you can push that thing to the 8, it's amazing. Because then you're just like,
I can't even
4 and 4
can handle that. That's a lot.
4 and 4, and you just flip the volume over like, that was.
You'll be proud of me. I bought a new TV so that I could have bigger quad boxes.
Oh, nice.
Mostly for college football. I usually do for NFL. I usually have one on Red Zone channel, and then I'm watching the other 2 network games. But for college football, we've got now I can get up to, if we quad box, I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can do 7 games at once if I'm doing the quad box on the big TV. So you'd be proud of me. It's a good size.
I just bought new furniture in my basement. So because I was like, okay, I wanted the theater seat with the lights and stuff, like the recliner, has the massager and the heat and the cup holders and all that. And my wife was like, we're not doing that.
I do need to get a more comfortable chair in my setup. I have I mostly watch at my desk, but every once in a while I just want to relax and be a little bit more comfortable. I need to get a better comfy chair in my TV setup.
Sundays, as I'm working on the coaches bowl, basically every Sunday, I just sit right behind this wall. Is my projection screen on the wall.
Yeah.
And I just sit down in the dark basement with no windows and watch football and work. It's amazing.
It's dark.
Do some DraftKings plays. It's the greatest thing.
It's dark in more ways than one when you're a Jets fan.
It is. It's fair. No. not debate on that.
All
right. I'll see you in about an hour.
Yeah, I'll be out there in a little bit. We'll see you out at the course.
Yeah, bye.
See you, buddy. That's Mike Sautter, Hurrdat Sports NAB Preps. We'll take a quick break. I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
Feeling tired? Foggy? Just off? At NextGen Male Medical Clinic, we offer hormone evaluations, peptides, supervised weight management for men and women. Most insurance accepted. Schedule a visit at nextgenmmc.com.
So after our last spring game, which was first week of May, I literally had a track meet maybe like 5 days after that. And we don't have a track here or a pit. So my first time jumping in the pit was at Nebraska, at Iowa, I think. But yeah, it was really fast. Maybe like my whole season was a month and a half.
How did you get back into the mode of long jump? Because how long had it been since you jumped before that meet?
Yeah, it was 2 years, a bit over 2 years. But I had a really good foundation growing up. My mom and my uncle were my track coaches, so I just think it's part of my blood. So, yeah.
Did you surprise yourself?
Yes. I mean, I PR'd, which I was not expecting. I couldn't PR 2 years ago when I was at my peak, so having very little training and time and a pit, PRing was great. Even making it that far was just amazing, and I'm so blessed.
Do you hope to continue track and field then?
Yeah, I'm hoping. Dual sport for the rest of my career, hopefully.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's White DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. Just kidding. That's Austin Jacobsen.
Thanks.
Austin, how are you doing today?
I've been in hell for 4 days.
It's been a tough week for you.
This has been the toughest technological issue that I don't know how to fix.
Yeah.
And I apologize again to our stream. I apologize to hopefully it's not affecting the podcast listeners too much, but we are trying to figure out what's going on. It's just,
have you seen Damon down there lately?
I have not seen Damon in hell. No, that's a great question. I did consider putting Damon into, like, if I wasn't in my own personal technological hell, I was going to try to put Damon in, like, the Doom universe. I think he would do pretty well.
You think so?
Yeah, he'd wear long sleeves like people were saying, so.
I will say, okay, the one bright spot of your week, though, has to be your Lord and Savior, Haynes King, right?
Haynes King.
So
Did you like my memes that I was posting yesterday? Did you see all of them?
I did. So are you out on Bryce Young?
I am not. No. Okay. So
this is where I'm confused.
So here's the best part is that no one was replying to me last night because I was the only person in America still awake at that time watching the game. And I thought to myself, I have to have a very, very positive spin zone for this, for how much love I have for Haynes King. I did buy the jersey, by the way.
Did you? I thought you were kidding.
So,
which color did you get?
I got the blue.
Okay.
Have to get the blue.
Okay.
So I got.
They do have a good blue. That's a good.
Right? I mean, how
blue.
could you not?
Yeah.
So, here's my thought. Haynes King. You know, we're going through. It's not a quarterback battle. It's not a quarterback controversy. Yeah. I'm a BY9 guy. Like, actually, I do enjoy Bryce Young. I think that well. This season's going to be hard because everybody is hurt by the substation. Do you notice how much better they played when they were in Ohio and not next to their, subterranean station?
Not next to Chernobyl.
It's brutal. But my goal for Haynes King is that he can be the quarterback in waiting and just can hang out until Bryce Young retires, and then Haynes King can take over.
Isn't Bryce Young still very young?
Very young, yes.
Although your chances with little baby boy Bryce Young getting injured to the point where you need a different quarterback.
You always need a solid number 2, although I would never wish that Bryce Young would get hurt. But
you do need a solid number 2.
But did you see how Haynes King looked last night?
Better than the alternative.
Haynes, look, part of this is hyperbole. Part of it, I actually did sit up a couple of times. I was like, he kind of made some throws that were pretty good. He had one on like a 3rd and 12 that he went right down the seam. He caught it, knew where his read was going to be down the seam, and put it on a thread on the back shoulder of a guy in the middle of the field. I was pretty impressed.
I was also impressed because one of the things I liked Haynes King a lot and was scared of him as somebody that watches a lot of ACC football, was scared of him when he played like Florida State or a team that I liked, because he was just a problem. But one thing, he kind of gave me maybe more athletic Will Howard vibes, where it's like, you're a really good college quarterback. I don't know if you're going to be able to play catch well enough at the NFL level.
I didn't think he was that good of this was his best passing performance I've ever seen him have.
Agree. That's where I was going with this was the best he's thrown the ball in different areas of the field, short, medium, long. Like I was really impressed with the way he threw the ball. I was also, not to take attention off of our precious Haynes King, I was also really impressed with Carson Beck. Like that's the guy we thought he could be.
And especially with the receivers. And again, we know that these are all backups. Like we understand,
absolutely.
But he was putting a couple of balls on people too.
Yeah,
like
he's confident. And
there was one busted coverage, but there was another one that he recognized that it was going to be like a certain layer. And I thought he did a great job, like putting a ball over the top of where it was the safety over the top and the corners playing like the shallow. And he put it in between the two of them and still let his receiver run underneath it towards the sideline. I thought like he had better placement on the ball with guys that he's probably known less than he ever had at Georgia.
I thought he did a really good job over the middle, especially. He was confident. He put the ball where it needed to be. Was honestly,
Rico, I love this. Thank you.
It was honestly like really impressive. I thought from both guys, like neither one of them looked like this is the first time playing professional football and I'm overwhelmed by the situation. They both looked like, hey, we're ready for this. We're NFL quarterbacks. Let's do this thing. And so, I mean, again, it's the Hall of Fame game, so you can only take so much. But again, this is sort of my argument going all the way back to whether it's like the John Mateer thing or the Darren Peterson thing or whatever. This is the highest level of competition we've seen them play against. I get Miami played really good teams. I get Georgia played really good teams. All of these guys are professional football players now. They are the best versions of the teams that they were facing. So I get there's continuity and chemistry and all these other variables there, but this is the best sample we have of are they able to play quarterback at a professional level? And both of them passed with flying colors early. So we'll see what that means. I know we talked about, I think with Gary, we talked a little bit about Jacoby Brissett, but I don't know, man. Like, would you be stunned?
The problem is, though, is if the Cardinals, and again, this is almost NBA level talk, but if the Cardinals think Carson Beck is a better option than Jacoby Brissett, shouldn't they still play Jacoby Brissett? They're a bad franchise that wants picks.
Probably.
They are kind of nuking themselves without putting a substation next to their, next to their practice facility. But like that's, if you really wanted to lose games, just put that up and then you'd be fine.
I do think you have to say, you probably are like, hey, Jacoby Brissett gets the first 6 weeks or 8 weeks or something like that until you've like really gone and solidified your pick.
They're just a talent deficient franchise right now.
No,
like,
yeah,
they just
are.
don't have.
They are.
And of course, you guys were talking about it yesterday in brief, but weirdly, all the clips that keep coming out about how bad Marvin Harrison Jr. is at catching the ball.
Super weird, man.
Yeah.
And he didn't play yesterday, and like a lot of the starters didn't. But man, Marvin Harrison Jr. is one of the ones that gives me, and I said this I think yesterday, but so much pause about Jeremiah Smith. Because
they're not the same style receiver, though.
Not at all, but they're the very, very similar style of hype about the receivers.
But every other receiver from Ohio State has passed with flying colors.
I agree, but that's kind of my point. Like, you can't really convince me that Jeremiah Smith is that much better than the guys we've seen be awesome in the NFL when his closest comp is in terms of hype is Marvin Harrison Jr., who's the one guy that hasn't worked. Like, you're going to have a hard...
So you're saying that there's no way that the amount of hype, no matter what Jeremiah Smith does...
is going to exceed the production we've seen of guys that were less hyped.
I could see that. I mean, I've already seen some people put in tickets for Jeremiah Smith Heisman this year because they think it's a more even quarterback field.
Which is possible.
And there's like, okay, well, you could probably get a really good year from a receiver, and Jeremiah Smith gets basically the Noble Award where, hey, you've been doing this for 3 years.
And I'm not denying that he's probably going to have a huge year and going to be a high pick and even be a really good receiver in the NFL. But, like, you're going to have a really hard time convincing me that the way we talk about him versus like a Jackson Smith and Jigba or an Egbuka or Chris Olave when he can actually stay healthy or any other dozen.
I mean, you go back to Michael Thomas.
Terry McLaurin. Like, there's so many of these guys that have been so good in the NFL that we did not talk about like this, that you're going to have a hard time convincing me that he's worth this level of hype when none of those guys were.
We didn't mention the Jet. We probably should have brought him up.
Yes.
We probably should have, talked about Garrett Wilson a little bit there.
All of
That's
these
on us.
Dudes are so good in the NFL, again, outside of Marvin Harrison Jr., that I just am not buying the hype being worth, hey, he's going to be better than all of these dudes.
So this is funny. This is from 2020. This is from March 2026 from Matt Miller, who hopefully, he's doing okay. He's got a lot of things going on in his life.
Yep.
He ranked the top Ohio State wide receiver since 2022.
Okay.
He started with number 1, Marvin Harrison Jr.
It's not
and
accurate.
this is an NFL-based ranking, I believe.
Not accurate.
I don't like that at all.
No, that's
he has
terrible.
JSN 2.
Yeah, who's
after
phenomenal.
JSN just won Offensive Player of the Year, broke the NFL receiving yardage record, all that sort of stuff.
He's unbelievable.
Garrett Wilson 3.
And let's not pretend like JSN has had I get Sam Darnold is better than he used to be. But let's not pretend he's playing with one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
He also doesn't have a bevy of weapons. He had Kenneth Walker, but he is the one to stop. You stop JSN.
He is the clear one. This isn't like a Jamar Chase, T. Higgins situation in Cincinnati. Like, JSN is the guy, and he's not dealing with a Joe Burrow or a Matt Stafford or Patrick Mahomes or a Josh. Like, he's not dealing with any of the guys that we think are the guys. He's dealing with better than 2 in a row. Geno Smith, I think he had a year with Geno. Geno Smith and Sam Darnold, you're like, better than we thought they were. But, I mean, those are middle of the pack, 10 to 15. I mean, Geno Smith's probably further than that now, but in the 10 to 18 range of quarterbacks in the league.
Do we value great receivers the worse their quarterback is?
No, but we probably should. Actually, so it's funny you bring up the value of receivers because we were talking. I was thinking about this yesterday with Jahmyr Gibbs just got the biggest contract for a running back in NFL history. I don't think this is a hot take, and you know how I feel about the overpaying of receivers, but I mean, a high-end running back is more independently impactful than a high-end receiver, right? Is that crazy?
So it's funny, in a different variation,
Hot take.
I was listening to just the Sports Flash or whatever it is about the Jonathan Taylor comparison in his contract to Jahmyr Gibbs, and then what Bijan Robinson got earlier this week as well.
And then, Jonathan Taylor, Bijan, Jahmyr Gibbs.
So I don't want to cop out with the answer.
So if I'm taking those guys, I'll add Derrick Henry in there. I'll add Christian McCaffrey in there.
So is Jahmyr Gibbs more important to the Lions than Amon St. Brown?
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, yeah.
I mean, that's basically the question, right? Is
Bijan Robinson more important than Drake London? That's an easy one to me.
Yeah, yes.
100% yes, right? Jahmyr Gibbs
Christian
a little
McCaffrey,
bit more.
clearly the most important person in that
to Kittle?
Kyle Shanahan's offense. Yes. One most impactful person on that offense.
I don't know. They had a lot of good. They got a lot of good running back years out of non-Christian McCaffrey.
I know.
Guys.
And as soon as they got him, they elevated to a totally different level of team.
Okay, you know better than me. That's fair. That's
Kittle misses so much time. And listen, I love Kittle.
Mm-hmm.
One of my Kittle, Juszczyk, love a couple of my favorite 49ers, especially of recent years. But Kittle misses so much time, or has missed so much time over the last few years, that you look at that and you go, okay, yes, he's an incredible weapon to have, but they've still been really good without him for stretches. When they haven't had McCaffrey, they've been bad. Their offense looks like a totally different thing. He's just so much more irreplaceable. And maybe that's a San Francisco specific thing, but they had Deebo Samuel, a non-crazy Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle,
people forget,
and Christian McCaffrey on that same team. And Christian McCaffrey was clearly the most valuable person on that team.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I really think that a high-end running back.
So the 25-26 Seahawks. Would you rather have Kenneth Walker or JSN?
I don't know that I put Kenneth. I know Kenneth Walker was really good. I don't
see that. That's the direct opposite of Atlanta, because JSN is clearly,
I think, more valuable.
Yes.
Yeah,
because Kenneth Walker was he was one of the many rotation pieces until he came on rather late in the year, and then had a very, very strong finish to the season. He was good throughout the year.
I think Kenneth Walker is good. I don't put him in that upper elite category where JSN clearly is for the wide receivers. So I think their tiers are a little different. Mm-hmm. But if you tell me Christian McCaffrey or Derrick Henry or somebody like that over JSN, we're getting closer. Mm-hmm. I still might take JSN, but it's pretty close. And there's the problem is there's so many more wide receivers that get paid $30 or more million per year. Mm-hmm. Whereas the running backs that are making either 2/3 of that or half of that in some of these guys' cases, I think your price per value is way off on those guys.
Yeah. I would agree with that too, because that's exactly how I felt about the Jahmyr Gibbs signing. Just the minute it came across, I was like, oh, this guy is worth the largest running back contract in NFL history. Not that it's, a slight against Jahmyr Gibbs. It's more just,
it's still not that big.
Does Jahmyr Gibbs every single game, for whatever amount of snaps he plays, bring you that sort of value? But then I had to check myself.
Say yes.
The problem is that's where I came to, is because I had to check myself, because I didn't realize how much lower that number is comparative to every other offensive position.
It's $51.5 million guaranteed. It is the max amount is worth 75. So max amount, you're saying 25 per year.
Yeah.
25 per year. I just brought up the wide receiver numbers here.
That put
you know where 25 per year gets you as a wide receiver? Let me look at I'm going to go average salary here. That puts you in 25 per year, which is the max, by the way.
25 per year.
That puts you in the Devontae Smith, Nico Collins, Calvin Ridley, Christian Watson, Cortland Sutton, Chris Godwin, who's really good.
Right.
Jacoby
I thought
Myers.
it was going to be a Godwin right there.
That's the Jameson Williams. That's the neighborhood we're talking about. Yeah. DJ Moore makes more than that. And listen, 5 years ago, legend. DJ Moore maybe. In 2026, DJ Moore, I don't know.
Yep.
We're having Alec Pierce makes almost $30 million a year as a wide receiver. We're just having a very different discussion about the level of player you can get for $25 million. And for running backs, that is the top of the market.
Yes.
If you want me to go, on the guaranteed number, that gets you down to what's 51.5 times or divided by 3. You're at 18, not 17, $17 million a year. $17 million wide receiver gets you Wan'Dale Robinson.
So again, it really doesn't hurt you to have
Romeo Dobbs,
a high-end running back. To overpay your running back is really not that big of a deal. It's not as big of a crutch as it used to be.
No, not at all.
Your problem, and this isn't, a complete hot take. This is just one that's obvious, but your biggest problem is overpaying mid-receivers. That's your issue, is if you have slot receivers, wide receiver 2s, or even 3s that are making the same as what you could be spending on an elite running back, that's probably where you'd rather put your money towards. Is a Jahmyr Gibbs, a Bijan Robinson, a Saquon Barkley, a Jonathan Taylor. Those 4 guys, I would argue, are more valuable than any of the receivers that you just named in that category of where they are being paid.
Is DK Metcalf worth $10 to $15 million a year more than the best running backs in the league?
No. Oh, no.
CeeDee Lamb.
Ooh. Jeez. Okay.
So CeeDee Lamb, we'll call it toss-up.
Yeah.
Zay Flowers.
No.
Drake London.
Depends on your offense, but probably not. No.
AJ Brown.
Not worth the headache. No.
Terry McLaurin.
No. Not
Chris
his age.
Olave.
No.
Brandon Ayuk.
Free agent. No. No.
So this is my point. Like the
CeeDee Lamb one is the only one because he's a home run hitter.
Sure.
And you can get a lot of value out of him. Drake London is interesting if you need a guy who's going to catch 110 passes a year. Drake London is kind of the quality receiver to get there. But
he costs you $35 million a year.
I'd rather have Jonathan Taylor, I think. I'd rather have Jahmyr Gibbs.
Would you rather have Jonathan Taylor, and who can I get for $15 million? You could get Jonathan Taylor and, I mean, you could get Jonathan Taylor and Cooper Kupp for $35 million.
I'd take that. Yeah, I'd take that. I would take that. Yeah, that's a win.
You get Jonathan Taylor and Mike Evans for $35 million.
Again, you'd have like unk receivers on the outside, and like maybe I would play really well, between the hashes, but we'd figure it out.
I mean, so I think part of the problem here is I think teams are so bad at drafting wide receivers that they don't trust themselves to find value at that position. Mm-hmm. They trust themselves to find value at the running back spot. I don't think they trust themselves to find value at the wide receiver position because, especially, it's not as bad recently. But for a really long stretch there, you had a lot of high-end busts from wide receivers. You just had a bunch of guys that just never figured it out.
Yeah.
And I think it's because schematic differences between high school or between college and the NFL. But I would argue the same thing. I think Tim has brought this up where I know DB has of scouting high school receivers to college receivers is actually really challenging.
Yes.
Right? Because a lot of times it's just a bigger, stronger, faster thing. I would say the same thing with running backs. Because a lot of times it's just, hey, I'm just bigger, stronger, more athletic than everybody else I'm playing against. Mm-hmm. I can't tell if you can't tell if they actually know how to run a route or they know how to get in and out of a break.
You also don't know how much, exactly what you're saying, but you don't know how much that they cheated, right, to basically get to positions that they were because they were, quicker out of a cut than somebody else.
Yeah.
That they didn't have to be precise. They didn't have to have these accurate steps. That they were just like, listen, this route, the way I've run it has always gotten me open. I don't need to change it. And then they go to college and it's, my 6-yard slant doesn't work the same way it did when I was at, Palmyra. It didn't work the same way.
There's a handful of schools or classes of schools in the country that at some point you're just not putting up huge numbers against some kid that's worried about pre-algebra. You know what I mean? There's just that's the fact of high school football. Mm-hmm. That's not to say those kids aren't good high school football players, but when you're going up against a guy that's the size of some of your D linemen and he is faster than you also in playing wide receiver, it's like, well, this probably isn't going to go my way. And it makes it for it was the problem with, it's literally the exact same problem people had evaluating Zion Williamson in high school. You're like, none of these guys are even going to play NAI football or NAI basketball. I don't know what to do here.
Yeah, it was also somewhat the problem too on a different aspect, and we can use even a last year example. I thought Marion Jackson was completely overlooked a couple of different times. I thought he was one of the best receivers that you could get kind of in the area, not only just this state but also in the region.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people pointed all of their targets to everybody else that was on that Millard South offense, namely Jet Tamala, and being like, I mean, there was also some injury stuff that happened,
Hill, really good
all that
back.
other stuff, but I thought Marion Jackson was fantastic. I thought he was great, and I think Penn State got a steal in him.
Agreed.
And I only getting the Iowa State attention and all that other stuff. Whoever he was going to, I felt like was going to be a steal. But did he get discredited because of they had to solo this guy and the kid that he's playing against, and Jet Tamal always put it in the right spot, and all the other, that could be realistic too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a really interesting dynamic, though, when you kind of scale that from high school all the way to the NFL with what we're talking about in terms of guys getting paid versus running backs getting paid. I don't know, man. I've been on this train for a couple years now. I feel like overpaying receivers that are not absolute game changers, which I think there's only a handful.
Who are your game changers? Who are your Ravi star game changers?
I mean, JSN.
Yep.
Is absolutely.
You put Puka in there? See, he's a tough one because I don't know if you put Puka somewhere else that he does what he can do.
Yeah,
it's almost a Drake London, right? You kind of put him in the same way.
I mean, so I look at Puka as sort of the wide receiver version of Brock Purdy. I have no idea what to do with him outside of the situation he's currently in. I think they're both really good.
I agree.
I have no idea what to do with them outside of their current situation.
Yeah, it's Draymond Green.
Yeah, sure.
You're just like, I don't want him.
No, I mean, I have a pretty good idea what would happen with Draymond Green anywhere else.
Some ball bags. That's what you think of Draymond Green. Just swiping ball bags.
I think Jamar Chase. I think Justin Jefferson.
Do you put A.J. Brown in there still?
I don't know about A.J. I probably do put Amon-Ra St. Brown as a guy you can pay and be okay in terms of that category. CeeDee Lamb's a little boomer bust for me.
He does. He has the big play potential, and when he takes over a game,
it's incredible.
Yes,
and I loved him at Oklahoma.
But
like
also,
I thought
to be
that's Oklahoma, right? CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, he's Oklahoma.
Okay. Yeah.
To be considered too, George Pickens did a lot of the heavy lifting last year too.
Yeah. No, he benefited from that for sure. But there's not very many guys, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure I'd pay any wide receiver $40 million. Like that to me is just insane. What I can get for like a running back and then like a guard center guard for $50 million is ridiculous.
Yeah,
right?
I'd agree. I think if you put more of your money, almost like the Lions try to do, but then they don't build out the depth necessarily. Yeah. They always say like, oh, build inside out, inside out. They've got the running back they paid pretty well. They want to put money towards their offensive line. They do have it at least guard, but then their tackles decay. Their center sometimes gets a little too old. All that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But if you go with that model, in all forms of football, it seems like you win a little bit more.
I mean,
But what do we know?
What do I know? I'm just a guy with a microphone.
I mean, maybe.
Hey, Shane, what do you think about Fernando Mendoza?
I mean, maybe.
That's awesome.
Would you rather have Haynes King or Fernando Mendoza?
I would just use it as a guide, like I play in the music bed there. Just use it as a guide, not a suggestion.
All right.
Well, I guess Shane's done working today.
Thank you, Shane.
It's been a long week for Shane as well.
Listen,
just a guide, not a suggestion.
That is Austin. I'm Ravi. It's Hurrdat Sports Live. We'll be back on Monday with more.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.